Welcome to the open book, where every voice matters. Every story got layers, and every conversation opens something new. Turn the page, turn the page, turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Welcome to the open book, where the real conversations flow. Turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Every story got meaning. Every perspective shows. Turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Late night talks with the smooth bass knocking. Whole room tuned when the topics dropping. Authors, culture, real life views. Open book vibes bring a whole new groove. No fake energy when the dialogue starts. Different perspectives play a major part. From page to podcast, the vibes stay deep. Real conversations every single week. Welcome to the open book, where the real conversations flow. Turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Every story got meaning. Every perspective show. Turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Every chapter different. Every voice got purpose. Every voice got purpose. Turn the page.
Hello. Welcome to the open book. This is your host, Lakeisha. I hope everyone is having a wonderful Saturday night, y'all. Some people are at the clubs, okay? Getting ready. Some people in bed. But hey, I'm about to go to bed, but I wanted to hang out for a little bit and share some of the videos that I came across this evening. And just wanted to react to a few videos pertaining to, it appears as though the Metcalfs family is getting a lot of pressure, okay? And some people are even calling them out to take a level of accountability. Now, I don't know if you all saw, there was a video that I posted earlier where the mother of Austin Metcalf, she was on, I think, a TikTok live, and they had asked her the question about the leaked email about the cheerleader. And so on that live, y'all, she, I think, unintentionally exposed the twins' real true character, okay, in her trying to discuss this whole email thing, because a lot of people were even saying that they felt that email was fake, okay? But she confirmed that the email was indeed real, okay? Now, she felt that it could have been a mom of one of the cheerleaders that had released that or leaked that email. But hey, look, I hope some other people get upset and start releasing some things, because there are a lot of things that many people are wondering, were they trying to cover things up there? With the crime scene and so forth. Where's the telephone footage out of our cell phone footage out of all of the phones? We even looked at some phones that were still on the bleachers earlier when we were looking at the exhibit photos. We even saw some cell phones still left behind. So what did that capture? Okay, so we're going to take a listen to what she said, because another thing that came out of that was, did Karmelo Anthony have a reason to pretty much be afraid? Okay, after hearing how she said her boys really are. So we're going to take a listen to that. Stacey Patton, she is a professor at Howard University, also called out Jeff Metcalf. Child, and I mean, hey, she hasn't lost a job, but she is trying to keep it real. And she got a lot of flack for some of the things that she said. And then also, last but not least, we have D.L. Hughley from his radio station. He has also some words about the jury and Jeff Metcalf. Let's see who we have here. Hey, Detective Sheila is in the building. Welcome, sis. Thank you for joining, and thank you for being first in the building. Whether you're in the bushes or in the live chat, make sure you hit that like button. Let everyone know we are live. Also, if you are watching the replay, thank you so much for tapping in. Don't forget to hit that hype it up button so that others can see this video as well. All right, so let's get into it. All right, so this lady, many of you, I don't know if you know who she is. Her name is Stacey Patton, okay? And she is a Howard University journalism professor, and she blamed Austin Metcalf's father, Jeff, for the teen athlete's murder in a Substack post. Now, y'all, it's a lot of new apps, and I've seen that app before because someone else had an article or something that they shared. I don't quite know how it works, so I have to see how Substack works. But I think I got a free trial when I was trying to be nosy and read something else, and they had it in Substack. But that's a new app. Hey, Candy Girl Pink, welcome, sis. Thank you for tapping in at this late hour. I said I'm doing something out of the norm tonight because tomorrow I'll be busy. So I don't even know if I'm doing a live tomorrow. If I do, it will probably be late at night as well. But we'll see. We'll see. So I was like, let me do another live that I did a premiere earlier, but I haven't done it live. So let me go ahead and share the information that I wanted to share with you all. And so I haven't heard of Substack, but a lot more people are starting to use that. And she was pretty much saying that Jeff was responsible for not teaching his son that Black children have boundaries. Okay. Now, she shared this right after Jeff, talked about the emotional courtroom address to Karmelo Anthony, who is 19, and he was sentenced to 35 years behind bars. Now, Jeff had demanded during that victim impact statement, he had demanded that Karmelo Anthony look him in the eyes. Okay. Now, he not only said that, but also Hunter Metcalf said, look at him. Okay. Like they were demanding this type of respect. As he told Karmelo that he's been robbed of a life with his son during his victim impact statement on that Tuesday. He said to Karmelo, you fail yourself, you fail your parents, you fail society. You don't belong in this community. And then he goes on to tell him that this was never about race, okay? This was about right and wrong. But Stacey Patton said that Jeff Metcalf is the one who failed and took some jabs at Austin, accusing him of raising his son to be a racist. Okay. Have y'all heard this? She did a whole article. Hey, Shay Shay, welcome. She did a whole article about this. Let me show y'all before I continue. Let me show y'all the opening of her article. Like I said, I don't have Substack. Some people may. So if you want to look it up when you get a chance, okay. So it's called Dear Jeff Metcalf. Your son is dead because you failed to teach him that Black boys have boundaries. And this was written on June the 10th, 2026. And she had a cover picture of the boys, their pals. So for those of you who want to read the full article, you are able to read it there on Substack. Okay. All right, let's continue. Okay, so she goes on to say, you stood in that courtroom and told a Black teenager he failed his parents, himself, and society. But perhaps the harder truth is that you failed your son first. Okay. She said, your son is unalive because you failed to teach him that Black boys have boundaries. She also argued that Jeff saying that he raised his son to be warriors and leaders was inherently racist because those words too often mean dominance. Okay. Um, Now, some of the things that we're going to hear in Megan's interview, she said, "Wow, I haven't heard of that, but I believe it." Yeah, she definitely wrote all of this. And so she's getting a lot of heat and flack for the words that she used and the message that she wrote. Okay. Um, so we're going to hear in Megan's interview, or when she was on the live, I should say, on TikTok, some of the things about dominance and their behavior she actually talks about. That's from their own mother. Okay. That's from their own mother. So if their own mother is saying these things, then what? Okay. I feel like Carmelo could have definitely been afraid. If they're talking about, I have bisexual hands, where I, meaning I can hit boys and girls. Okay. We can't just let that go and say, oh, that's okay. Oh, that's just how they are. No, no, you got to fix it. As a parent, you have to teach them right from wrong. Okay. Now, Stacy holds a PhD focused on African American studies from Rutgers University. Okay. She also went on to say Austin, knowing how to hunt, was telling of the white masculinity that was being celebrated around him. She stated, "You fail to teach your boy that Black children have boundaries. You fail to teach humility, restraint, or the sacred fact that another person's body is not your jurisdiction." Uh-oh. Uh-oh. She said, "I'm glad they're calling out Jeff Metcalf. I think the Black community needs to call him out, because when that retrial comes up, there's going to be tempers rising, especially, okay, if they will find Carmelo not guilty or even throw out the case at that." Oh, Candy Girl Pink, you better clock it, okay? You better clock it. Hey, hey, Young, welcome. She said, "I heard the mother say Hunter was worse than Austin." Hello, she sure did. And we're going to hear it for ourselves again. Yes, she definitely did. Okay. And that kind of goes with the whole thing of Hunter starting this whole mess. Okay. It really did give credence to that. Okay. So I was like, oh my gosh. Then she says, "You failed to teach him that another child's space is not a challenge to be conquered." Uh-oh. Wow. She said, "You failed." These are all capital to the you. "You failed to teach him that community does not mean white boys get to decide who belongs and who does not." Okay, so critics of Stacey Patton felt that she was being very cold-hearted and calculated attention seeking. They thought that she was just trying to get some type of attention. Now, Xavier DeRosso, 29, an ex-Black Lives Matter activist, stated that Dr. Patton literally turned a tragic altercation between teenagers into an ancestral tribe war. Okay. Um, let's see. Let's see what else. Anything else? Then it goes on to say she taught at Morgan State from 2016 to 2023 and was an adjunct professor at Montclair State University from 2006 to 2011. She has been a senior writer and editor for the NAACP Legal Defense and Educational Fund from 2008 to 2011. She has also been a reporter for various publications, including the Baltimore Sun from 1997 to 1999 and the Washington Post from 1999 to 2000. She's written books, including a 2007 memoir called That Mean Old Yesterday, and a 2017 book titled Spare the Kids: Why Whooping Children Won't Save Black America. Her next book is called Strung Up: How White American Learned to Lynch Black Children. Oh, Lord. And guess when it's gonna be released? In October. Oh my gosh. Look, so she already getting some attention right now. And she has this new book that's coming out pretty much in October. Wow. So she's getting a lot of flack for the things that she stated. Let's see here. A Young said that goes against what Jeff said. Yep, it does. That woman is speaking the truth. She's calling it how she sees it. Exactly. I mean, and those are her thoughts and opinions, about it, because a lot of people have their thoughts and opinions about how those boys reacted that day to Carmelo. And then being that you have two coaches who were saying that they were actual witnesses to the incident, where were y'all positioned? Okay. If you are telling a young man to leave and they don't want to leave, then the next step is to go and get an adult. We already saw that the coach had told them they weren't supposed to be there anyways, child. But the coach had said, look, I want you to be a leader, get somewhere and sit down, basically. Okay. He wasn't telling him to be security over the tent. He was telling him to be a leader and show the right behavior, proper behavior. See, the coach knew how these boys were. Okay. If their own mother is out here talking about their behavior, then you already know the coach knew. He was already telling them. Now, if the cheerleader, we're going to hear about that. If the cheerleader was telling them they pretty much sucked, okay, the coach had told them that in the text message. He said, y'all not winning nothing. What value do y'all even bring to the team? So he was already, their little egos were already bruised. So if there was some smack being talked about underneath that tent, then hey, their little egos could probably not take it. And Austin probably took it the worst and the hardest. Okay. So, hey, Deidre, welcome. Oh, Lord. So we'll see where this goes with Dr. Stacy Patton because, they did not like what she was saying. All right. So let's get into Megan Metcalf. Let's listen to what she had to say during the live. Now, this was on Coach Brandon Wine's podcast, and he was speaking on Austin, Hunter, and Eddie during this particular evening. Now, many people had seen this leaked email with the cheerleader talking about how the boys, were definitely Hunter, was calling them fat bees and the things he was saying to them. So some people thought it was fake. Well, y'all, she confirmed that the email was real. Okay. And she's also, I don't know if she realized the impact and how this actually helps Carmelo. Okay. Because if she's describing their behavior like this, I can only imagine how it was that day. Okay, so let's get into it. Make sure y'all tap that like button. Let everyone know we are live.
We kind of talked to Brandon about it a little bit. He didn't go into too much detail because of his, and he just said like kids were disciplined, and that's
yeah. So the incident was that we had played Frisco Liberty that night and lost, and we should have beat them because they hadn't won a game in like 3 years.
Okay, pause. Okay, first, this whole little attitude right here in this first part, I said, oh yeah, okay, we can already see where they get some of that stuff from. Oh, we should have beat them because they had already lost. No, okay, if they won, they won. So y'all should have, but didn't. So that wasn't even anything to have been said. It's this like attitude where you're lacking good sportsmanship. If someone wins, you're supposed to congratulate them. The players go shake hands after the game and all of that. So if mom is saying it like this, imagine how the boys are feeling like my mom even said they shouldn't have won. So they probably feel like that attitude is okay. Okay, that's not good sportsmanship if you're playing sports if someone won, oh, now we should have won. We should have won. And Liberty, that's the tent that was right next to Memorial's tent during the day of the incident. Okay. It was some other. So were any of the Liberty people over there the day of the incident? I'm wondering, because clearly she had a whole problem with one of the teams winning, and they did. I wonder, did they have a problem with anyone from Liberty? Okay, so let's continue. Bad sportsmanship. Mm-mm-mm.
So, the whole football team was frustrated and upset, and Austin and Hunter were physically upset even at the game. Like, they got in trouble from the coaches because, like, Austin threw his helmet. Hunter was the one that who's kind of more of like he would get more upset about things. He went back out on the field and finished the game. Austin was like, I'm done. He was just, there was only like 2 minutes left and he was just pissed. He was just.
Okay. Austin throwing the helmet. He didn't want to finish the game. Like, what choice do you get? If your coach tells you, boy, get out there, you better get out there and do what you're supposed to do. See, that's what the coach was talking about. Okay. In that text, that's one reason why they weren't even supposed to be there. Because he said, y'all were coming to the track events. Y'all were doing y'all's event. And then y'all would leave out early going fishing. So now, because they're losing, okay, Austin throwing helmets. He up here not finishing the game. But then she said, Hunter is worse than Austin. These are his mom's own words. Okay, these are her words. We don't have to add anything. We're going by what she is saying. It's all about respect, and it shows Hunter does not have an ounce of respect. And the men we have in today's generation, it's not going to fly, especially when they have daughters. That's true. That is so true. Sheila said, poor sportsmanship. People need to teach their kids how to lose gracefully. You won't win them all. Exactly. And that should be taught. Early on as a young child. Okay. But you definitely have to set an example as the parent. You have to set that example. So just like how they were at the game and they didn't win and Austin didn't want to get out there and play. No, you're going to get out there and play. You're going to finish up. You're going to show good sportsmanship. Be there for your team. Okay. You have to teach. You don't win them all. You don't get your way all the time. That's why, see, pay attention to patterns. That's why that day, it bothered them that Karmelo allegedly didn't do what they said to do. Okay, we usually get our way. We get upset when we don't get our way. See, this is showing a history. Like, pay attention to the things she's saying about character. Okay, she said this is why her kids are the way they are. Hey, Zoe, she said, I'm just coming in and I'm like 15. Hello, what up? What up? The like button is for free. Thank you, Zoe. Yes, y'all better hit that like button. It is for free. Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate the support. All right, let's continue.
In one of those moods. But after the game was over, him and Hunter and I know for sure one other kid who was an offensive lineman went to Cane's to eat. And I'm going to be honest with you, the cheerleaders, I loved the girls. I wasn't a fan of the coach because as a coach myself, I was a volleyball coach for a long time. You want to encourage your kids to encourage the other teams and all those kind of things. And I felt like
it's the hypocrisy for me. Now you want another coach to teach the kids how to kind of celebrate other kids in their teams, but you don't want to teach your own children how to celebrate their own team and ride things out even when they're losing. It's the hypocrisy for me. It doesn't work like that. It should work the same way for everyone, right? Oh, okay. I thought it was supposed to be the same way for even your own kids. See, that other coach, she said she's not a fan of the other coach, and you were a coach, then you should understand how this goes. Okay, you should understand how this goes. So, you didn't like the coach, and I'm pretty sure she probably gave that coach hell. Okay, you could tell it when she said it in this little live. You could already tell. See that, and this also shows y'all that they are a close knit environment over in Frisco. Okay. See, a lot of the teams, y'all, play together all the time. Like, how do you even know this coach like that? How do you even have a personal opinion about the coach if y'all kids just face off in different games? She act like she taking it personal, like she knew this lady. I have a whole problem with the coach. They are close knit. They know the coaches, all the kids, the schools, all know each other. And even one of the coaches that testified, he said the same thing. He said he loved all of the kids. He said even the ones that were not a part of his school because they are a community. They play sports together. Some of them go out to eat. That's how it is in the courtroom. Some of those judges, DAs, the lawyers, they all run together. They all have kids that commingle. Okay, so that lets you know she knew of this, not just knew of her, but knew her. She knew that lady. She already telling them she didn't care for that particular coach.
Our cheerleaders just
She
for
did,
like,
she did it as a cheer coach. She's a cheer
what's
coach.
the point?
Yeah.
What's the, like, they were just like, what's the point? This is, our team's trash, this kind of thing. And the girls apparently were talking about the game and making comments about how crappy our team was. And Hunter, more than likely said something nasty to one of them because that's how he approaches things. And Austin just whenever.
There we go. Pay attention to the pattern. She already knows how Hunter is. She said more than likely he said something nasty. Like it's okay. Like it's okay. Okay, so we already know how he came at Karmelo. Okay, so don't go to acting like you didn't do anything, Hunter. Like you was just this shy kid. Your mom is showing your pattern. Okay, so more than likely, Hunter, she keeps calling out Hunter. She keeps calling him out. His behavior, his anger. So those are things to pay attention because, y'all, you have to pay attention to patterns. Okay, he didn't just magically turn into an angel on April 2nd, 2025. Oh, I'm just going to ask him, could you please move, sir? You're not supposed to be in our tent. No, I can only imagine how he came at him. I can only imagine what it's more than this tent. See, if Karmelo was rocking it on his team, if he was rocking it during the track team, Karmelo was offered football, his mom said 2 football scholarships. He had 21 scholarships lined up. What did you have, Hunter? Was there a little jealousy there already? Because I'm pretty sure y'all know the people in the community. Y'all are very involved in sports. You see the rankings, okay? You know who getting awards at different schools and so forth. So was there a little hint of jealousy there? She helping up for them on the slick. Yeah, she is, Deidre. Okay, and she's saying it as if it's okay. It's the hypocrisy and audacity for me. It's not okay. But this was their norm, y'all. This was their norm. And we're just seeing it on full display. See, the gag order is over. When people get comfortable, all you have to do is sit back and listen. They'll start telling on themselves. They will start posting. Okay? They've gotten comfortable thinking they've gotten away with this. That, it's over. So we could just say whatever. We could just, but Bess, you about to get caught up. You about to get your son caught up. Because everyone's thinking he was this little angel just doing, remember how she said the right thing? Remember she kept saying, yeah, my sons, they was just doing the right thing and asking him to move. No, it wasn't the right thing because I can only imagine how they went up to him and said it, okay? If they're talking to these ladies like that.
Everyone was like, man, I don't understand why you guys got to be like that. Like we're upset that we lost and this is how you're not even going to support us. So there was not like a physical altercation. It was more of verbal, of like, you guys are assholes for not, you're supposed to be First School Memorial supporters and you're acting like we're shit.
Mm-hmm.
And you're cheerleaders on top of that. So fast forward to the email that was sent. From what I understand, the coach had talked to Austin and Hunter about just what happened on the field the night before. And then the coach had sent the email, and Coach Jackson, who was our head football coach, actually told them, if you have a problem, you need to go to the police, because it was off campus. And there was nothing he's going to do because it was off campus. So.
Well, that would have been a teachable moment, if anything. Hey, Shamika, welcome. Okay, so he was telling them they should have went to the police, but child, the police probably won't do nothing. Probably friends with the dad, probably friends with the mom. You get in these communities, baby, that cheerleader thought she was doing something by go ahead, I'm gonna go ahead and send this to the coach. Maybe he will discipline him or, correct him or something like that. Baby, she's probably scared to go to the cops. They don't know what type of repercussions were going to come on them for reporting them to the cops. That's why she went to the coach. So if anything, before you tell her you need to go to the cops, no, you need to also talk to those boys. See, they've been getting into too much trouble. They had already gotten into trouble about their behavior at the game. Now, all of a sudden, they're getting this email about their behavior of how they're treating their fellow classmates, because they attended the same school. Those were cheerleaders and those were girls. See, there should have been, when there are no consequences for behaviors, people get even more bold. They start doing even more. It gets extreme because, I can pop off and do this and nobody's going to do anything. Okay, let me try something else. I could do this and no one's going to do anything. Did you hear his mom just say, it wasn't anything physical. It was, just verbally. Wait, what? See, mom, allegedly, you were getting abused. So is that okay, though? See, you got to also think about that other layer. If that was something that he allegedly did to mom and the boys witnessed that, is there a certain behavior that she had got comfortable with that every girl, every woman should also be comfortable with? At least they not hitting them. Wait, what? It was just verbal? No, you need to get on them and you need to correct the verbal, because it turns, it goes from verbal to then physical. Okay? If we don't correct it at one level, it progresses. It doesn't go backwards. Okay? It continues to move forward and gets a little bit more serious each time. So that wasn't the right thing to just say, it's just verbal, like this the norm. Okay. Let's see. Sheila said the right thing would have been for them to mind the business that pays them. That part. Deidre said it's really not okay what they're going to do when they find out Karmelo didn't do it. Hey, Circadia, welcome. Circadia, I hope I'm saying it right. Let's see here. I always get your name, child. I'm like, I'm probably messing up her name. I'm so sorry. But all of this should have been said the first time in court about the twins' behavior. Exactly. But something tells me, y'all, that the judge would not allow it. I bet, when they meet to talk about the evidence and what will be allowed in court and what cannot, the boundaries that are set forth, some judges will say, well, we will only go to this level with that. Like, we won't talk about this part of that. You're able to bring this up or this. They probably said that you're not allowed to even bring up the character of Austin because he's no longer there, and Hunter because he didn't even take the witness stand. Okay. It probably was laid out like that. At girl was confused to be out where to go for help. The PD, yeah, she was probably confused. Did she go to the police department or do I come to y'all? Who do I talk to? And that poor cheerleader, y'all, I bet you she caught hell after that. Okay? Because now the coach got onto the twins probably about it. And then because there were no consequences, they probably kept messing with them. They probably kept on. Like, it probably made it worse. Especially, I don't know if they eventually reported it to the police. If they didn't, oh my gosh, it probably got worse at school. The coach did nothing, and the police department could send her back to do nothing. Yeah, yeah, they both played a big part. I agree. It's so sad. This is like it being an enabler. Okay.
Nothing came of it other than, yes, there was a talking to. And again, I go back to the original fact. Austin would never disrespect a girl per se. Hunter, he could have some choice words for someone who was going to be disrespecting him.
I mean, like, she's really making that seem like it's okay. Where did he get that behavior from? Where did he learn that behavior? Okay, it seems like at least Austin would have had some level of respect for girls. But she's saying it like Hunter wouldn't even have respect for girls or boys and probably lacks respect for her. Okay, come on now, let's call it out. Hey, see now, welcome. She said, baby, you pulling it overnight. Exactly. Girl, you know I ain't gonna be on here too long. Okay. Zoe said, was mom rescued from the trailer park? Girl, you crazy. Okay. I'm just like, does he even respect you? He told her shh during that interview. He told her to hush. I was like, oops, uh-oh. She was probably scared of those twins. Okay, because it's so, I mean, y'all, I don't condone any abuse or anything like that. And it's so sad if that really did happen to her. You know, that could cause some psychological issues and how you pretty much react in different situations. If they've seen and witnessed that type of behavior growing up in their household, they could have mimicked some of those behaviors. And it probably triggered her every time, like she was going backwards into the previous relationship. They probably wanted to see how far they could go with her too. That's sad. That's really sad. And she's steady throwing Hunter under the bus. Yes, Sheila, are you clocking it? She is saying, I said, no way. Is she trying to get back at Hunter? Because she keeps throwing him under the bus like big time. Seriously. The mom is afraid of her twin. I think so too. So sad the boys saw their dad. Yeah, allegedly. I'm going to say allegedly beat the mom. Yep. And then one hurt the father's arm. But he never talks about that part. Why is that? Why not say, yeah, you know, they're liable to be a little violent. One of them hurt my arm. You know, they talk noise and crap to the mom. All of that, if it was true. Why not just bring that on out? Absolutely, they bebop their dad. What makes her special? That's so sad. So those are things that show patterns, okay? If you would do that to your own parents, what will you do to this young man sitting here under the tent? You're trying to get him to move. See, you're trying to flex your muscles. But I think it's something deeper than the tent. I don't think it was just about him sitting under the tent. There was something else at play for them to have that kind of smoke. Okay. I believe it was way deeper than Karmelo just sitting right there under that tent. It had to have been. And I don't know what it was.
I'm just going to be completely frank. That's just how he is.
Mm.
They were identical twins, but they were two completely different type of children. But the end result, nothing happened in that regard. And then I actually asked someone here recently, you know, how it got leaked or whatever, how the email had gotten out to all these people or whatever. And someone had mentioned more than likely it was a mom that was just pissed off.
He wants to about the.
Now, my thing is too, y'all, I bet the coach that received that email, and whoever put it out, I bet someone told her. She's trying to act like I bet it was this. I'm pretty sure somebody told her who it was. I have this feeling for some reason somebody told her who it was. I don't think anything was done to correct it, and it got worse. I mean, it got worse. It got worse. It has a lot to do with Eddie and Carmelo's girlfriend. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Hey, CapX, welcome. Thank you for joining. Right, no respect for your parents, no respect for anyone. Hello, thank you. Hurt people, hurt people. Yep, to have Jeff as a father is a crime. You got to have a license for everything but creating life. Oops, because she is being awfully quiet. Yes, definitely. She said, it's too much to type. The twins is dangerous and everyone at that school knows. Yes, those people know. The school knows. When all of this, when they heard about this, y'all, it was not a surprise that the twins were probably getting into it with someone, right? That part, it was probably not a surprise. What was the surprise is that one of them this time got cut or something like really detrimental happened to him, unfortunately. That's the part that was the surprise. They were probably not surprised that they could have been under there talking noise, because they had already been in trouble for it. They had already witnessed their behavior. The part that was the surprise was that one of them actually got hurt to the point that his life was ended. Hey, Buttercup. Hey, Becca. I told you, Buttercup, one day I was going to surprise you and just come on live at night. Okay? That was the surprise. Like, whoa. One of them got hurt, but they knew how they were. We're listening to his mom say how their behavior was. They had gotten, into trouble because of how they reacted and behaved at the football game. She knew about this whole incident with the cheerleaders. The coach in the text message stated that they were leaving early after their track events, going fishing. They would not celebrate the team. They were only celebrating themselves. That's in the evidence, okay, from the trial. So we're not making this up. So that part was not a surprise. The teachers probably knew how the twins were. Okay. The surprise was, oh my gosh, this Karmelo guy cut, allegedly, one of the twins. That was the surprise. Because see, with their size, they probably knew who to pick on. Okay. They probably went around picking on everybody who was smaller than them that they could take, and it was two against that person. Oh, they had them beat. So they probably ran things, and their parents have influence in the area. They ran stuff. They were used to getting their way. But that day, they didn't get their way. And it threw them off guard. So not only was it something that was verbal, but then it turned physical. See how it progressed? When it's not corrected at one level, it progresses. Okay? Because you don't correct it at verbal, it turns to physical. Exactly, Sheila. They were surprised that someone actually fought back. I bet the teachers, students, and staff is scared of them. Those kids can finally breathe now. You say, wait a minute, now they can finally breathe. Right. They knew exactly what those twins were doing. Exactly. Okay, because they did say, where was I hearing this? That allegedly when things were going down, the kids were texting some kids at the school or something to that effect. I got to see where I heard that. And they weren't surprised. They were surprised that it turned into what it turned into. They weren't surprised by the kids' behavior, the twins' behavior. You can only play in the road so many times before you get hit. My mama always say, eventually everything is exposed. That's true, Shamika. I think they were stalking him because they were jealous of him. He started off with a lifted, nice truck that he saved and bought. Then his dad upgraded him to a Lexus car. Yes, that's true. We're not supposed to live and drive well. And he was like rocking it on the field too and on track. And he had all of these scholarships. All of those scholarships. And you know, the reason I know that bothered, especially the father, is from his victim impact statement. It bothered him that Karmelo was so great because in that one moment, he tried to really, really say some words to really hit this young man in his heart, to really hit his confidence, his self-esteem, and everything he had worked so hard, his high GPA. He wanted him to feel like, now I took it all. Now I took every chance and opportunity you had at being great because I no longer have my son. He wanted him to feel that. It bothered them that he came from a household where his parents were married. They wore nice clothes, nice cars, nice house, nice school, captain, rocking it on the field, winning awards, your name on plaques. That bothered them. They knew. They know if they're trying to get their children scholarships, they know who got scholarships, who in the running. They know they're a close-knit community. Their mom did not want to be the Mendez twin, not the Mendez twins 2.0. Okay. Hello, that case. Talk about it, Zoe. Hello, and I may go back and look at that case all over again in a different light. You are right about that. If Austin has some sort of self-control, that means Hunter pushed him to his limits to be a bully because it's his twin, right, Candy Girl Pink? It seemed like Austin was the one that did have the self-control, according to his mom, over Hunter. But see, especially when you're a twin, like you said, if my brother getting involved in something and I got to have his back, I got to have his back. Whether he right or wrong, that's exactly Hunter's words. So he was going to have his back. It's sad. It really is. And he was liked by the students and staff. Jealousy is a hell of a drug. Say that again. Shamika said a bully is a bully till a bigger bully comes along. And you better not bully the right scared person because the scared person will take you down. Okay. Hey, Caramel, welcome. Them twins was crazy. Girl, this is from their mother. Okay, their own mother said this. She probably did not even know what to do with them, y'all. To be honest, she probably did not know what to do. And then if you are now basically a single mother, don't have a really good relationship with the dad, who's going to get them in line? Folks be having secret agendas with so much animosity. Jealousy is so dangerous. It is. Jealousy and envy. I have twins myself and I know how they are, but at the same time, my twins know we mean business. Right is right and wrong is wrong. Exactly. Exactly right. It bothered them that he wasn't a statistic and was way better than both their sons. Yep. That was huge. Like if you think about it, That's huge. And y'all know how these sports moms and dads are. I'm not there quite yet. My daughter, she's in dance. My son, he may actually be on the drum line eventually. He had a little performance this past week, and I was like, wow, I think he's big enough, probably tall enough to play football eventually, but I want him to do what he wants to do. And, my son, because of his height and stature, people may think he's like a big bad something, but he's not. He's a teddy bear. He's not a fighter like that. So people can give folks the height and stuff misconstrued sometimes, But yeah, I agree. Let's see here. She probably didn't know what to say and couldn't say anything to any of them because all three of them would have bopped her upside her head. Girl, that is really sad. That's really sad. So then, y'all, let's move to this next video. Now, this next video, some of this I'm going to be watching with y'all. I haven't watched all of it, but he was starting off, speaking some facts. I wanted to share this video from D.L. Hughley. He had talked about the case on his show recently and was kind of getting into the whole black jury situation. This was, let's see, what day was this? 2 days ago. 2 days ago. So let's get into this. Make sure y'all tap that like button. Let everyone know we are live. Also, if you would like to support the channel, you're welcome to send a super sticker, super chat, Cash App, or buy a coffee.
We had one of the things I love about doing this as opposed to, I love the other things I do, but I love this specifically because we're all people who have opinions and we oftentimes talk about them, and it's not, we don't tie it up in a neat bow. We were talking about Jeff Metcalf, and full disclosure, he is Austin Metcalf's father, and he was killed by Karmelo Anthony. He's the father of the young man killed by Karmelo Anthony, and he went on, a media tour. Basically, he went on a media tour, and he was talking about the jury. Here's what he said.
What is your judgment? What is your judgment of all these people in the media that have spoken on the case?
Well, they're just like anybody else. They don't know me. They don't know Hunter, Austin. They don't know Karmelo. They're looking for their 15 minutes of fame or their clickbait or their clicks. They're looking to monetize the death of my son.
Ooh, says the person who's doing that. Okay. I was like, here we go again. It's the hypocrisy for me. Okay. Child, who has a whole GoFundMe on behalf of their son? Who's trying to do a whole interview tour? Okay. Who's doing lives, doing a whole rant? Okay, trying to get that to go viral? Says that person. Everybody who thinks that people are really speaking facts and just out here sharing their opinion is trying to get monetized, child. Okay, some people been monetized. They ain't even about that. They just want to get on here and talk and share their thoughts and opinions. Okay. And then what else did he say? It was something else I was about to say pertaining to that. And then not only that, his mother has a GoFundMe too. So how again are y'all not already doing that? What is the GoFundMe for? Everyone was trying to clock what the Anthonys were using their money from the GoFundMe for. What are y'all using it for? Okay. Oh, but you know what? Y'all know what's about to end up happening? Well, out of the Austin Scholarship Fund, they just awarded their first scholarship, okay, to a Black boy. His name is Kevin Jackson. So they're probably going to say, oh, we're, using the money. We're going to fund the scholarship on behalf of Austin. I don't know how many they're going to give out. I don't know the amount yet, if that's going to be shared, but they'll probably say it's for that. Okay. But come on now, child, bye. I wouldn't have spoken if I were her. Jeff can't walk a straight line, let alone lead his kids to be on the straight and narrow road. You say you can't walk on the straight line. Girl, you are crazy. Hey, Ray, hey, honey, 5K. Hunter and Austin about told her what to do. I think so too. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Mary say, mm-hmm. I said that's, I mean, it's nice. God bless that child, going to college and receiving that scholarship. So that was the first one. It has now been awarded to that young man.
I really wish they wouldn't speak about at all. Because one, if that woman said that, she has no idea about the facts of the case, but she wants to spew her public opinion on a platform that reaches millions of people every day.
Okay, my thing is he was referring in this clip to Sonny off of The View. Now, if they would have allowed her, see, Sonny was being nice and jotted down your words on her notepad. It would have been nice if The View would have cued the clip. Okay, y'all, that would have been hilarious. Y'all know how, like, on Real Housewives, the reunion, and people get on there trying to lie, and the producers are being messy, and they like, let's roll that footage and show when you did this. That's when they should have pulled in the clip that Sonny was referring to. She was getting on there referring to something you said during I guess it was an interview. Okay, it's called The View, duh, so she can give her view. Y'all, this stuff tickles me, I promise you. I was like, well, ain't that what the show called? So she can give her view on what you just said. She's giving her view on what you put out publicly. So why is that a problem again? Oh, okay, because it was Sonny. Okay.
Do I have that platform? No, but today I have a little platform to say what I'd like.
You can get away with saying it over here on Fox News. They definitely not going to bring it up. They're not going to bring it up, and they're definitely not going to play that clip or even refer to that clip of that whole racist rant. Okay.
It's completely wrong. And if they want to take me and call me and ask me to be on The View with them, I would gladly fly me up there and let me talk to all of you.
And the thing that I find
now, The View, please don't. He's trying to keep this tour going. Please don't do that.
find repulsive is, yes, you are a grieving father, and no one, I don't think that anybody can do anything to assuage that grief, and I would never assail that. I don't know how you would react. I do know that when Bill Cosby lost his son to a racist guy who wanted to kill a black guy, there was not this kind of diatribe. We're not all equally the same. The thing I was the most repulsed by is how he managed to meld racism and grief at the same time. What the fuck does people not knowing their father have to do with filling out juror forms? Like, and then he said, when he said they don't know how to fill the form, they don't know how to not to be biased. How the fuck do you know what they said on that form? How is he privy to that information? How does the father of the victim know what potential jurors said on their form?
Didn't we say they're all connected? Call it out, DL. Come on now. Didn't we say they were all connected? They probably called him, let me tell you who we got. This is what they said. I'm telling y'all, they probably threw out a whole lot of those, and I'm hoping that the Dream Team appellate attorneys for Karmelo subpoena all of the forms. Okay, we want to see all 600. Let's see all 600 of them. They all connected. They had probably called him and said, "Okay, this one, what you want? What you think about this one? What you think about it?" They probably was. That's how he would have known. How else was he gonna know? He wasn't in the jury decision process. They done probably leaked the info to him. Okay? He all in the courtroom, able to allegedly nod to witnesses on the stand with no consequences. And you want to know how would he know what potential jury member said? Child, they probably had him handpicked and just went through a process for the public. They probably already knew who was going to be on the jury. Oh, but everybody's eyes is on this case, so we got to make it look good. Let's say we got 600. I don't even know what 600 people parked at that courthouse when you got protesters all out there and everything. Where did everybody park? Where did they sit? Okay. Where are all of the forms? And I hope that they subpoena every last one of those forms so they can look through them and make sure that they went through all of them diligently. They may go back and start correcting some stuff, trying to fix it up like they were fixing up that docket. You didn't have nothing up in there at first, but then y'all started going back, backdating things, putting things on the docket. I had already screenshot what it looked like before y'all started backdating entries, okay? Y'all see how it's moving and things are moving every day and the docket is being updated? It wasn't like that prior to the trial. They went back and backdated things on the docket. They probably backdated paperwork as well. Because I was paying attention to how they were moving and the Lord laid on my heart, screenshot it. Just so people won't think that you lying. And then they went back in there and backdated entries. So these people are moving funny. So that's why we question certain things. So if you're saying, well, how would he know? Hello, they all are connected, have children playing sports together and know everybody, know each other. That's how. It was probably leaked out. Yeah, he better clock it. Yeah, grief. Yeah, grief has never made me spew racism. I like how he put that. How you putting the two things together. You could be a grieving father and get all of the anger out about that. But you went into a whole rant about watermelon felon and all these different things about Black people probably don't have their dads in the house and don't know who their daddies are. All that different stuff. What did that have to do with your grief? How did you unleash all of that onto the actions of one person? You then unleash all of that onto a whole people, a race of people. That's what he's talking about.
And the fact that you believe that Black people cannot be fair, that only you can be fair, tells you a lot. You sent me something. We argued about this, and you sent me something about the voir dire, which is where you vet jurors and how they disqualify people. What did it say about Black people?
So the interesting thing, right, is that like with that case, that they released, like the DA released like kind of some information.
Yes,
that was kind of
right,
and they asked a bunch of racial based questions, but they also have I just want to bring up the term. So like they have preemptory strikes,
right,
which are done for no reason,
right.
And so there were actually like 3 Black potential jurors that all worked in the school system. And then the prosecutor struck them all out, saying if you worked in the school system, you couldn't be
right.
So realistic, like the difficulty there too is I was doing some research last night, and these like these preemptive strikes, like, are disproportionately used against Black people.
72% of the strikes, because there is this belief, and it's really based on bias, that Black people see Black people and automatically suspend their right to be human and fair. When we know that the vast number of Black men who are in prison, Black people in prison, were sent there by Black jurors, Black judges, Black prosecutors. Like who this is Fannie Willis.
So I am a prosecutor that I don't care if you're Black, if you're white, if you're Hispanic, if you're Asian, if you're rich or you're poor. I don't care who your daddy is. If you violate the law in this county, you are going to be prosecuted.
Small business owner, let your bill pay work for your business. Pay your business bills with your credit.
A Black prosecutor in Atlanta, one of the blackest cities in the country. We have Tisha James
out of New York.
Who do you think Puffy went to jail behind? Bill Cosby has gone. I remember when Kamala Harris was running for president, one of the knocks on her, and one of the things, the ideas that I had something to do with, admittedly, and had to apologize for, was that she was a prosecutor who locked up Black men. So Black people have no problem sending Black people to prison. Black people have no problem meting out justice of black people. What I found insulting about what he said is only one group has the ability to be just. And that seemed disingenuous to me. And the other thing, we argued about this, the other thing I found insulting, I think that the reason that judge put that gag order on everybody was because he knew that if that hadn't gotten out, if that man's mindset, if those things had gotten out, then there would have been a suit for change of venue.
Yep.
They would have made sure that the jury was more balanced.
I agree. I definitely agree, because they had already done interviews. Hunter had done 2. The dad had done 1. The mom was with Hunter on both of his. So my thing is, it was already looking a certain type of way. And then Karmelo's family did 1 interview, a press conference, I should say. And that was, Dominique said it was because people were lying on how they were utilizing the funds from the GoFundMe or the Give, Go, Send, whatever that thing is called. Give, Go, Send, I think Give, Send, Go. That fund. So they had to come out and talk about it at that point, because, they were talking about restricting the funds, and they needed those funds for his lawyers and the fees for his trial. And so that's why they did that one. But also, I did not realize, y'all, that there was a whole Karmelo Anthony movement taking place. There were sites already being formed last year where there were people submitting for FOIA requests, were trying to go and see the videos, trying to request all this different info. They were having lives about how they were organizing things and sending out emails and so forth. And so these people's voices started getting out there. They started shutting stuff down. Anyone who was connected to, like Dominique, and I was wondering too, why I saw him with the lawyer. They did that press conference, but I was like, why is no one out here talking about what's going on with the case or anything like that about the Anthonys, or, have they heard what was Karmelo's side? See, if you think about that, y'all, Karmelo never even talked about what happened at any point. We have not heard his side of the story. Now, he may have shared it with his parents. Okay, I don't know if he fully shared it with the lawyers, but during that time, and they already had that gag order, we never got his version of the story. They also did not want kids and things attached to this out talking as well. Okay, I heard that from the Dwayne witness on another platform, that he said that they were threatening the kids that if anyone released any videos, they were going to go to jail. Okay, so there were different threats that were sent out there allegedly as well. So yeah, I'm so like, wow, that's true. They never did.
So there was a reason. That dude, as soon as this trial was over, he went on he had 3 hours worth of shit to say. He's been on Megyn Kelly. And the thing about Megyn Kelly had on Russell Brand, who admitted he had sex with a 16-year-old. And you're talking to me about what the fuck is fair? Megyn Kelly got fired basically from NBC because she was a racist. She thought Santa Claus, like all the shit that she's done, it seems disingenuous to have people like that enter the race forward. I will say this: I can both understand that he's a grieving parent, and understand that grief may take forms that I don't necessarily understand. But that man espoused the same racist tropes that anybody does with little or no provocation. And we were talking yesterday, and you were like, he's a father. You know who we didn't hear from? The parents of the child, the 1-year-old child that was gunned down by the police officer. Mm. They might have some shit to say. We don't hear anything from them. And it's because it's for effect. I can both.
Now, we have heard from his parents. Y'all, have they released that video footage yet? We've been talking about Karmelo's case. I got to revisit that case because we did start. So I need to see where we are with that case, because that's crazy if they have not released that video footage with the 1-year-old, that officer.
Hold the idea in my hand. I am not saying that Karmelo Anthony did or didn't do anything. I am not saying who is guilty or innocent. I am saying the optics of a jury that is made specifically up of people where you deny people the right to get in because you believe they can't be fair, and you believe only fairness looks like you. Fair outcomes look like fair skin, apparently. I dismiss that notion out of hand when I know for sure that black people send black people to jail all over the country. And that notion, even in the jury picking process,
Hey, Buttercup, thank you.
biases introduce themselves.
It looks like tech your kid actually wants to use, but it works like a private tutor you don't have to sit next to. He thinks it's just a cool.
Yeah. I also find it very interesting that he was talking about how black people don't know how to be unbiased, right? When he, in his rant on social media, was being very biased.
Yes.
He was saying things that were stereotypes. They were not true. And he was stating them as if they were facts.
Exactly. Two people that propagate those tropes. When he said the thing about black father, and you said this yesterday, what'd you say about, he said something about black father and women in writers room who said, they don't know their fathers. 77% of them don't know their fathers.
That's what he said.
Oh, no, I was saying that the kid who basically stabbed his son had a father.
Was that
why
trial?
are you saying y'all don't even have y'all fathers? I'm like, are you paying attention to the case?
Right.
It just
like Trayvon Martin. They roll out this Trayvon Martin was going to see his father.
Yeah.
The thing that's so disconcerting and so ironic to me is that 70%, the CDC did this exhaustive study, and it talked about black people black fathers participating in their children's lives. And they do it at a higher rate than virtually every other demographic. But every time you get mad, you get to roll out these racist tropes. Even racists get to say it.
Yep.
Like Megyn Kelly got fired. But basically, they couldn't explain her racism. And she's the one who's interviewing him. You talking to me about crime and you interviewing a pedophile.
Yeah.
Russell Brand admitted to having, and you acted like I've never seen. There was a decided difference between the way Gayle King interviewed somebody who was suspected of a pedophile and the way she did.
That's why I'm like, look at R. Kelly and Gayle King.
Right.
Interview,
Yeah,
and
we
you
remember
can
that
tell
one well.
who
Right.
can and cannot be biased
Right.
at times, yo.
Right.
One person is like, I'm fighting for my life. The other one is like, yeah, so I did a 16-year-old. Oh, that's
okay.
interesting. That's
Right.
very
Yeah.
interesting, Brad.
Right.
Also two things. One, every time you mention that CDC study, it's great, but I just imagine like some kid getting bullied at school and their dad being like, tell him about the CDC study.
No, he didn't. No, he would have shot. Well, he did. My mother said, I'm not really proud of this, but my mother and father, when it came to bullies, they said if God wanted you to fight fair, he wouldn't have invented bricks and dark corners. So I think
Wow.
And then also Tony Shook, who actually was like Carmelo's lawyer in the
Right.
case. He actually used to work with the prosecutor. And then additionally, you brought up the Botham Jean case
Right.
earlier. He was actually the attorney of the Botham Jean case.
he got off Amber Geiger.
Which is crazy. 10
Yeah.
years for that versus 30 years.
So
for this.
for those of you who don't know, Botham John was at his apartment. Amber Geiger was a police officer, right? Went to the wrong apartment, shot a guy there, goes to trial, and is found guilty and gets 10 years. And what is interesting is it was a black judge who did it. A black judge who did it. A black female judge. And that female judge is a member of her sorority, Delta Sigma Theta.
Mm-hmm.
That female judge got off the stand and handed her a Bible and prayed for her. The idea that we can't be biased, I don't think that being just is.
And that judge, y'all, got a lot of heat because of that moment. She was giving her a Bible saying, pretty much, hey, you going to jail, but while you're in there, hey, you never know how God's going to work this out. The brother, yes, had hugged Amber. And from a spiritual perspective, a lot of people applauded what they did. But y'all, because of what happened to Botham Jean, it's like a lot of people were not feeling that. They didn't feel that. But look at the difference. Look at the difference with this. There was compassion that she showed towards Amber, even though people may have not agreed with it. What did Karmelo get? And I'm not saying applauding that a life was taken. I'm not saying that whatsoever. But I'm saying for a young man that had never been in trouble before, okay, really did not even get a chance to hear his side of the story. There was not an ounce of empathy or understanding that you could possibly feel. It seems like, based off of what others are telling us, in that courtroom, it felt very cold and just harsh. Even his parents, when they're getting emotional, they were sent out. You know, like, hopefully, young man, you know, you could get back on the right path, or some type of words on his way. I could see if he was a repeat. I've heard or seen videos, y'all, where there have been repeat offenders getting conversations from judges, you know, to try to ease the blow a little. You know, it's like this was a man that had just been in trouble over and over, just doing all kind of bad things in this world. But that judge, I had never seen anything like that happen before in the Amber Geiger case. I had never seen anything like it. I don't believe Karmelo poked him. Okay, I read that. I agree. It was too much going on. Hold on, y'all, 1 second. Okay. Karmelo got an unjustified, harsh sentence. That's what he got. Buttercup. Wow. As bad as the video quality was, it should have not been allowed in the trial. Yeah, they should have gotten the clear footage. Okay. And if y'all didn't see the video that I did earlier today, where it showed on the exhibit photo, the crime scene taped off not only Memorial's tent, but the crime scene went all the way around even Liberty's tent. Now, the whole crime scene, if you're showing this in the court of law to a jury, okay, you need to show the whole crime scene. At least, if you're not going to pan the whole side, when you zoom in, you should have zoomed in where it went all the way over to Liberty's side as well. And then show them that video. Now, if you're going to do a separate little video where you're showing just focusing on Karmelo and his actions, then do another little video showing that. But at some point, they were scared to even pan the camera over to capture Liberty's tent. So that whole crime scene was not even a part of the video. That's crazy. Okay, hey, Tapany, that's crazy work.
The enemy of being inhumane. You can be just and humane. She sentenced that woman, but she still was compassionate towards her. And I think that this idea that we are craven, that we cannot met our justice, I believe Bill Cosby did it. I believe Justice Smollett was lying.
He was.
I did. I did.
Motherfucker.
Hey, Mama Magazine, clock it. Okay, how you get clear photos and not the video? Oops. Okay.
Lying, man.
He was lying.
I'm not. So the idea that only one side can be biased when the unbiased, when that is the very reason we have to have these stipulations in place, because they've proven that they couldn't be, is why we're having this situation. My argument is that it should have never even had the optics. You should have known what the outcome of this would be. And the fact that you would not even make sure that you took even the potential of somebody making these arguments away, making these arguments. The fact that you have no black, and then you have a father going, well, they can't be unbiased. And then the other thing is, when he went on a View and he talked to Sunny Hostin is a federal prosecutor. She's prosecuted all kinds of people. Sunny Hostin has locked up a lot of black people. She locked up a lot of white people.
Right.
The one thing you can't tell me about people like that is they can't be fair. If you look at the prosecutors in Detroit, the prosecutors in Chicago, the prosecutors in Baltimore, those are black people who send black people to jail all the time. You think, and if you look at where crime is dropping in the Chicagos, in the Montgomery, Alabamas, in the Baltimores, in the DCs because they have these black mayors who are determined to do something about crime, but in a way that's productive.
And then Jasmine, you kind of mentioned too, and I think this is worth bringing up in the Botham Jean case, that like black families are always having to kind of forgive and like.
Well, it's not that they have to forgive. But they do.
Yeah, but absolutely.
And they tend to offer it rather quickly, even when they are the victims. Right. And I think it's worth mentioning because even when we're thinking about this Karmelo Anthony case, it is as if people think that we cannot see and understand the pain that a father must be going through. But at the same time, we can also understand the other side of it and this unfair sentence. And you talk about the Botham Jean case, right?
Yeah.
The fact that this chick only got 10 years when she went to the wrong house. This dude was minding his own business. Eating ice cream.
In his drawers, eating ice cream.
If you're a grown black man and you can eat ice cream, you a bad motherfucker anyway.
But look, in your house, you in your drawers.
And do you know what they tried to bring up? That he was smoking weed.
Exactly.
Now,
in his
what
house.
does that have to do? He's in his house.
Why was he in his underwear eating ice cream?
That's my point.
What else would you want to smoke
Any
weed?
black dude you could be grown and eat dairy, you a bad motherfucker.
So yeah, I'm
You a
jealous.
bad motherfucker. But you could never do
That's
that.
why I could never do that.
Botham Jean's mother forgave her.
Of
Her
course.
brother forgave her. His dad forgave her.
Right. What are you, Little Mermaid? What the fuck are you under the sea?
That's why I'm like, clear your throat.
Werewolf Kermit. Like, oh, you changing before us.
But I'm trying to clear his throat for him.
I think that these tropes,
Sorry.
that I despise that what happened to that man. I despise that he lost his child to a violent situation. I despise that we live in a country where that's far too common. But I also despise the fact that in those circumstances, people far too often reach to racism instead of understanding.
I was about to say, I'm very sad that the grief made his racism flare up.
Now
it was like
I bet he said shit like that all the time.
All the time. That's
it
what
was
I'm
too
saying.
uncomfortable. Yeah.
You don't become again. I don't think that type of stuff makes people racist. I believe they are, and then it just flares up.
Yes.
You like motherfucker, just like, hey man.
And he couldn't wait to share it. He could not wait to explode.
And let me tell you something, Stephen A. Smith, of course, and I don't mean to do this. You think I do this on purpose? I do not. I do not. This is what Stephen A. Smith said about Karmelo Anthony.
Karmelo Anthony murdered Austin Metcalf. There is no other way to slice it. We're arguing and going off and expressing hell and fury over the conviction of a guy who acknowledged he admitted he committed the crime. But 39 people get shot on Juneteenth, and we're not hearing anything. Why is that?
And I would just like to say, fuck you.
Hear, hear.
I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, do you understand that a lot of people were convicted of things that turned out to be different? Do you know a lot of things got the air because they were under the term legality? They got to get away with things. Slavery was legal. There were a lot of things that be inherently wrong that were legal, but that doesn't make them right. I am not for 1 minute telling you I think I know the ins and out of that case. I am saying that when I have a father that says this, when there's an absence of juries, of representation, when we know how the voir dire and the jury selection system works, it gives me questions. And in times like this, America is best served when it answers those questions before it's asked. That's all. Even the optics of it. But they ain't even got to.
And you know what, y'all? A lot of people, they are just at face value saying some things without even knowing some of the full details. Like, they should even say to themselves, so a jury convicted a man of murder without seeing any proof of it. without an actual weapon there, without hearing the testimony of this person. Like, we could all hear him say on the body cam that he's not alleged he did it. What is the it? What was he admitting to? I still go back to that. Okay? I still go back to that. Because we've also heard from the coaches saying in one breath, he's saying Karmelo was like he was trying to protect himself. He stabbed him. Okay. But then also saying, I don't think that he thought he stabbed him where he stabbed him. Well, what did he say? What made you say that? It's so many question marks still with this case. But some people are like, oh yeah, hey, they called it. They said it was guilty, 35 years. And they took a look at the video. Can you even see what's on the video? When you can tell us what's on the video, then hey, I'll be like, let me listen to them. But you can't even see it. Okay. It's so much evidence that was missing. I'm not even a lawyer, and I could go down a list of things that they did not have in the courtroom. Where's the forensics? Where are the cell phone records? Where are the other angles there at the stadium? It's so much stuff. Where are the other witnesses from the defense side? Did they even explain how it was self-defense? Oh, everybody who thinking, oh yeah, he did it, he's guilty. Do you even know the story? Do you even know why he had the weapon? Do you even know if it was really his weapon? We saw photos today when we go through the exhibits. For one, they look like different weapons. Blood is on one, blood's not on the other picture. Blood is here, blood's not here. We can't even get consistent photos. So how are we so sure that they got it right? When there's so many question marks. Okay? It's so many question marks. You have people on the stand line. Come on now. If we're going to call it out, call it out. If you're going to say, oh, but they got it right. He's guilty. And you haven't taken a second glance at the case. You don't know what the people said on the stand. You don't know how they were caught up in lies. You don't know the things that were not objected to. You don't know about the coaching of the dad in the courtroom, allegedly. See, some of these commentators and these newscasters, they don't watch the bloggers. They don't watch YouTube. They only watch the CNNs, the CBSs. Child, y'all gonna miss a whole lot. Because the content creators who were actually inside of the courtroom, and shout out to them, they came back and gave way more details, okay, than any news station was going to do. But y'all not looking at those channels. So it's quick to judge and just be like, oh yeah, he did it, he that, he da. And you don't even know the full story. Right, go somewhere and sit down and cry about the Cowboys, y'all. Okay. All he can do is talk about the Cowboys. Sit down somewhere. Stick to sports. Okay. What that was telling that boy to my shut up and dribble. That she was wrong for that. But some people, look, if you're not going to put in the work and really delve into things, just hush. Because you're just going with the whole same stuff that they putting out here in mainstream media. And don't even know any of the details. You don't know how people are falling asleep, allegedly. Jury members falling asleep, not taking notes. Judge up there allegedly falling asleep in the courtroom. That's why he didn't want the cameras. That's why he didn't want audio in there. They just doing whatever up in there. We wouldn't know that information if the content creators were not telling us. Okay? So some of y'all big dogs, y'all not going to look at the little channels. But what you don't know is the little channels putting in the work. They're actually looking deep into this and probably could make better lawyers, judges, DAs than some of y'all, and definitely some investigators. Okay, because we got quite a few in this chat. okay, that could do a way better job at getting the information than y'all did. This is crazy work. Yeah, where are the bloody clothes? Where's the video of Karmelo's interrogation? Clock it. I told you we got detectives in here. Okay, where's that confessional? Oh, but y'all so busy putting his clothes into bags, putting them into trunks, so the crime scene investigator can come and get the clothes out, hurrying up, putting him into jail clothes, probably had not called his parents by then. Because y'all couldn't even give his parents the respect to get in contact with them when this happened. And I'm not just going to even leave that on the police department. I'm going to leave that on the coaches as well. Because the coaches should have been contacting the parents too. This mother should not have had to see that her son's phone was being tracked and it wasn't moving. She didn't know what was going on. She hadn't heard from her child. Okay, hey Joy. She said, "What y'all do?" Girl, we are being fast. Okay. Yeah, she was afraid of them. They trampled over the scene. Yeah, moving stuff, trampling up, using. How you gonna use evidence they put in the report, y'all? That this is what gets me. Now, they put in the arrest report, okay, they put in the arrest report that because it was raining, they put a tarp over the weapon and then picked up a backpack. So y'all put y'all hand and fingerprints all over stuff, moving stuff. Y'all gonna take a backpack, put it on top of the tarp to hold it down, and then you looked at it. Oh, this must be Karmelo's. It looks like the only Centennial backpack. What kind of investigators y'all got on that team? Okay. We got different weapons, it looked like. One weapon has the blood. The other weapon don't. So what happened to the blood that was on the weapon on the other picture? Okay. Whose phones are those? Did they have any evidence in the phones? Were they recording when they were arguing? Were they recording when the alleged incident took place? Where are the camera angles from the visitor side? Were there any parents or anyone sitting up high? What about all of those witnesses in the tent under the Liberty tent? What happened to all those people? Because I know they were close enough to hear and see what was going on. They were back there. So those are the things that before people get out here popping off like they really know what they're talking about, child, really look into some stuff. Okay? Dig a little deeper before you come out here running your mouth and don't know what you're talking about. Once I heard they weren't taking notes, I knew it was a wrap. Right. How you going by? You got the prosecutors bringing 21 witnesses. So your memory is so good, you can remember the testimony of 21 witnesses. And most of y'all were probably old. No offense to anyone old. I'm up in age too. Okay. That's how I know I need to take notes. I take notes on the whole flow sometimes of my lives. Because I can't memorize everything. Okay. So y'all that big and bad, y'all sat there 2 or 3 days just, okay, I'm gonna remember this. Okay, they did that. Okay. Now let's go back here and talk about it. These people gotta be, this has to be like some movie, like we are in the Twilight Zone. Hey, Miss Boss Lady, salute to you. Thank you so much. Right. They didn't even call his mother. Okay, so y'all can miss me with that. Okay, miss me with all of that. He didn't have any ketchup on his clothes. Right, it was a little spot they showed. Yes. Okay, Mama Magazine said, where was the expert talking about the blood splatter? Okay, patterns and how the blood ended up in the locations on the hoodie. Where the experts at? I ain't never seen a whole murder trial. We don't have no experts. What kind of bootleg trial did y'all have going on? Okay, it seemed like the whole Wish version. I'm still trying to figure out. We don't have no experts. We don't have no objections. Come on now. No forensics. Where's the toxicology? Where's the autopsy report? Narratives? That's not even released. Okay, they just gave us a whole little scribble scrabble autopsy diagram that even Chat GPT can't even read all of the writing. Well, how are the jury members supposed to read what you wrote? And they are not any type of experts or medical examiners. So they don't even know what the scribble scrabble is. Okay, so you need to give them the narrative. Where's the narrative that goes with it? Because if y'all gonna put out the diagram, quit playing with us, y'all need to put out the narrative too. We're not medical examiners. We probably could do a better job, but we're not. So if you're going to put out one piece, put out all of it. If you're going to put out a clear video on one part, put out a clear video of everything. Don't just make it blurry on certain parts. We can't see what y'all want us to see. Was that the plan? Think about it. They only expect donut. Okay, girl, come on now. If you look, Melo's already gone. Yeah, he was already gone. And y'all, they up under there still fighting. Nobody called that out. The jury members were probably asleep, and half of them probably couldn't even see none of it. Okay, what was still taking place underneath the tent when he was already out? Have y'all talked about that? No, they didn't. Most people didn't even see it. It took us looking at the videos over and over and over and over before we started seeing stuff. So y'all probably glanced at that video one time. Come on now. Did they test any of those found weapons for fingerprints? Probably not. No. Okay. He had a little piece of blood on him. Mm-hmm. Did anyone go live at the moment of the incident? Right. Where's Snapchat? Okay. Did y'all pull their Snapchat videos? I never seen nobody did something and Melo had no drop of blood on him. It was definitely a botched bootleg case. Right. Girl, a whole bootleg. They ain't want to do no investigation. Oh, well, he said he did it. Did what? We need more clarification. Okay? He could have been saying he was kicking him. He pushed him. I don't know why you would think somebody would stab someone in the chest and think, oh, no, they're going to be okay. He's going to make it. Is he okay? I would have thought if he thought he stabbed him there, that place, he would have been like, oh, Lord, what have I done? Okay, come on now. Like, some of this stuff is just common sense. Yeah, that's how you know. Girl, Chat GPT couldn't even read some of that. If they wanted us to, no, y'all got to do better. Y'all got to do better with Chat GPT, and they can read everything. How is it that Chat GPT can't even read most of the writing on the autopsy diagram? So how did y'all expect the whole jury to understand it? Was that intentional? Okay, put the narrative too so we can understand what you were writing. We're sick of it. We're over it. I hope this dream team of lawyers clock everything we're saying and that they go after it all. That we want it all. We need the narrative, toxicology. We need a better diagram with some better handwriting so we can see what's going on. Enough is enough. Like y'all doing nothing.
Pretend like they care about it. You tell it. I honestly believe that father, that judge knew if that father said that before that trial, we'd have had an entirely different circumstance. I believe that. So Eddie Glaude is a Princeton professor, one of the brightest people I've ever seen on TV. But I had a problem with the run up to the election with Hillary Clinton and I've said this on the show. Okay. Hillary Clinton and
Child, I was like, just stop trying to play with people's intelligence. I'm telling y'all, let me say this because we done talked about this, but y'all, hold up, let me show y'all. I'm gonna just pull it up. this is how much those people cared. Okay. Let me make it a little bigger. Now, during the pre-trial, okay, I want y'all to notice how much work went into this trial. Hey, I'm J Rose. Yeah, we being fast tonight. Okay, I want y'all to see how much work they put into this trial. This is one little page right here. Because, you know, as things are being done, the docket is supposed to be updated. Okay? I did a screenshot. This was the week of the trial. So I said, let me go back and look at the docket. Let me pull up the second part, which goes to the next page of this docket. Because I want y'all to see what had been done. I didn't take nothing out. I just screenshotted it as is. This is how you know they did not take this case seriously and they were caught off guard that so many people were tuned in. They didn't do nothing. Okay, the bare minimum. Here's the second page that continues. Now, y'all see at the top is September 24, 2025. Do y'all know this was the 5th time Frisco ISD was issued a subpoena? And it was unserved each time. Okay? Here are the first 4 times. The 5th time. They even tried to serve Frisco Police Department and it said unserved. Do y'all know when they went back in and started backdating and adding entries, do y'all know they removed that? It is no longer there. That part is no longer there. Let me show y'all the third page. This is how much work they put into this case prior to the trial. Okay? But notice, once the trial started, they started updating things. Okay? They waited till the trial actually started. Oh, we were getting daily updates. Oh, you know, and this also makes them look crazy because look at how close these dates are. Oh, you know, this is the day. Let me put my glasses on so I can read some of this foolishness. This is how much work they put into it. This is how much they thought of getting justice. Justice for all. Okay. Oh, you know, this is when the state's witness testimony started. Oh, this is the state's witness testimony. This is state rest after 2 days. Okay, y'all see how much updated we had once it really, you know, got into it. Over here, barely nothing was done last year. This how much they thought of getting justice over there in Collin County. Y'all were not even updating anything. But let me show you what they did do. So I had already screenshotted. It was barely showing nothing done, right? So then, y'all, once the trial was over, this is what they started doing. Let's see here. Okay. I think this one of the pages. Okay, so they went back in and they started making amendments, okay? Like going back, like, oh, we did this particular day. Okay, we did this particular day. Oh, let me show y'all how they just automatically put in all of these applications for subpoenas. And it looks crazy because it's a long list of them all on the same day. Check this out. Now, these are not in order, but I just want to show you this part. They just went back and start backdating. Here's an example. See, where it has defense, application for subpoena, they had all of those. A lot of those were not there. Okay. Then they had state's application for subpoena. Look at all of them on the same day. They started just going back, putting all of this, all of that on the same day. Y'all, it's crazy how things just started changing after the trial and how they went back and started adding new things that were not there. This is how these people are moving. And I'm so glad that I had what it looked like before, okay? Because they were moving a certain type of way. That's how much they thought of this trial and getting justice, true justice, okay? Doing your job. Yeah, they said the judge was sleeping allegedly. They thought Melo was just going to not be heard. Yup. They was thinking he's just a little black kid. No one would care. Yup. I have to be honest, y'all, this case is really changing me. I'm starting to get irritated with all the hate and race bait. And some of these house ninjas, CC spewing their hatred for Carmelo Anthony is sickening. It really is. Yep. Some stuff I cannot watch or listen to because it is race baiting. You have a lot of that. They ain't do a darn thing. Probably added stuff from the beginning to what they had to make it look full. Yes, that's what they did. I think Melo's uncle is talking too much on social media, asking Jeff for a boxing match. Somebody needs. Wait, huh? His uncle? I didn't see that. I am J Rose. Wow. Austin dad made it racist though. Don't forget that. Right. Who have court on a Saturday? Right. I was shocked when that happened. You having court on Saturday, trying to rush it. Wow, I did not see that. Wow. I'm gonna have to be on the lookout. Yeah, leave that stuff alone, please. Don't even start doing that. Because see, that will give them something to talk about. Okay, as far as, see, we told y'all they not, they like to fight. They like to do this, that. No, leave that stuff alone. This is not the time to be calling folks out, trying to fight, do all of that. No. And sometimes you got to be careful because some of this stuff is fake. It's not even real. It's Chat GPT, and stuff like that. So just be careful, y'all, and make sure you verify things before you take it on as facts. But I'll look into that. Thank you, I am J Rose. I definitely will look into that. Yeah, I didn't see that either. You said Kevin Hayes. Let me see. You said, now that's who? His uncle? Let's see. Hold on, y'all. Let me look. Oh, Lord. So he's been on. He's been going back and forth with Sarah Fields too, y'all. Oh my gosh. But he seems like he's working behind the scenes. I'm just kind of looking because I didn't know. So I'll do more research with him and see what's going on. Oh boy. Yeah, I would definitely not get too involved with all of that if I were them, like, because you don't want any of that to bite you in the behind later on for them to be calling stuff out. Let's see. Oh, Lord. Okay, I see what you're talking about. This one I'll show y'all. Oh my gosh, this is not the time for that. Okay, let's see. So this is one. This was back on June the 12th. He said, Jeff, if you got that much anger to get out, there are plenty of boxing gyms in Dallas where people settle things with discipline, respect, and rules, not through online insults. This is for Jeff Serafield since I can't tag him. Oh my gosh. Well, this might escalate quickly. I didn't even know about that. Oh my gosh, that is crazy. And that's exactly what it's doing. Sarah Fields reposts all his stuff. Really? Oh no, they need to cut it out. Yeah, I would not. This is not the time for that. They definitely was not prepared for trial at all. I think they expected multiple continuances. Yes, exactly. And also because they had snakes on Karmelo's side. Okay, come on now. They thought they had this thing wrapped up in a bag with a bow. Yeah, they didn't have to do anything because you know, a real lawyer that had your back, baby, wouldn't have went for that. Like they would have been having stuff moving. Like, what we doing? But that also lets you know he had snakes in the camp. Okay, by their lack of preparation. Shoes. He had a picture of him and Mello. Yeah, he does. Jeff said it wasn't about race only to turn around and say racist things. Okay, that's her brother. Okay, got you. They could have unalive Mello. Oh, wow. Dominique been talking. And you know what? Why is he still trying to collect money? I thought he wasn't even working with the family anymore. So why is he trying to still collect money? Talking about the legal system is one side. Because people probably like, well, here I got some lawyers. He's still trying to collect money. I was just confused. Like, what is it for? She wouldn't mess with Justin Moore. Oh, wow. I didn't know all of this was going on. Okay, so let me show y'all what I was talking about. Because I was just a little confused with that. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, right here. Here it is. Okay. Let me share this. Okay, so he says, this was on the 23rd. He said, I believe Carmelo Anthony. He said, across the country, thousands of people have reached out asking the same questions. What can I do? How can I help? How can I stay involved? The answer is clear. We must get organized. The pursuit of justice requires more than attention. It requires an informed, engaged, and organized community. As this process continues, it is important that people have access to accurate information, meaningful opportunities to participate, and a way to stay connected to the movement. We cannot allow misinformation, division, or confusion to define this moment. Instead, we must build a community that is committed to truth, justice, and collective action. Many people want to support Carmelo Anthony and his family, but it is important to understand that community organizing and advocacy are separate from legal process. The legal strategy and legal proceedings are being handled by the attorneys. Our role as a community is different. Our responsibility is to educate, engage, organize, and mobilize people who want to support this family and ensure that our voices are heard throughout this journey. By signing up, you will be connected to community meetings, town halls, trainings, advocacy, opportunities, and important updates. This will allow us to keep you informed and provide meaningful ways for you to participate as we continue to build a movement rooted in justice and community empowerment. Together, we can ensure that people remain informed, engaged, and prepared to take action when needed. Movements are not built by a few individuals, they are built by communities that come together with a shared commitment to justice. If you have been asking how you can help, this is your opportunity. So maybe he's just getting the people to sign up. Let's see. Someone said, how did I just know that there was going to be a QR code? They keep asking for more and more, and I'm needing to raise $5,000 for my foster Phil's ear surgery. Somebody said they keep asking for more and more. They got bills to pay. So I don't know. But I didn't know he was still working with the family, because they said he wasn't even in the courtroom. So I don't know what's going on with the family's relationship with him. I have no idea. Interesting. Wow. We shall see. They are taking it far, accusing Kayla of sleep. What? See, it's this kind of mess that causes so much confusion and distraction from the purpose and the task at hand. That's crazy. Right. In the original press conference, Kayla offered sincere condolences, and for Jeff to say she didn't is blowing me. Yeah, she did. Hey, just one Andy, welcome. Folks around them wants him to step back. Yes, that's wisdom. That's wisdom. They saying that he's not connected to the family. He's just doing stuff. That's what I was hearing. I didn't think he was connected to the family anymore. And I don't think that that's right if you're not connected to keep on acting like you are. If they don't want your help right now, they don't want your help. You just got to eat that up. Okay? And just leave it alone, because you don't want to be out here false representing someone. I don't know if he is, though. I'm going to say allegedly. I don't know. But I thought that that was over. I could be wrong. But hey, anyone can still help. I don't know. It's just, I believe that he did them a great disservice. Right. I just feel like, I don't know. I don't want to say that, but it's just, okay, I'll say this part. I feel like there were some things being done behind the scenes with multiple people. The family did not know these people. Okay, they're from a different state. They moved here. They don't know the history that some of these people have with one another. They don't know who likes who and who doesn't like who. Like, for example, I went to middle school. I was riding a school bus, and there was a girl that she said something rude to me on the bus one day. And so it was another girl that I was standing at the bus stop with, and I was just, telling her my thoughts about what happened. Well, the girl confronted me after school the next day on the bus, and she said, I heard that you said XYZ. And I was like, well, the only person I had shared that with was that girl. So that taught me a life lesson. You never know who's connected. You never know who will tell something you said. Okay, because I didn't know they were friends or knew each other. And that girl would go back and tell her what I said. And it wasn't like gossip or anything. I was telling her about how I felt about what she said to me about a seat on the bus. Okay, so they came into this thinking, oh, these people are here to help us. But they really did not know these people. And some of them had beef already with each other. So now y'all have Karmelo's case, okay, is in the crossfire of what y'all got going on. That's not fair. Okay? That's not fair to him and the case. So the family is thinking, oh, these people are here to help, but everybody had their own agenda. You see what I'm saying? So their agenda was put before Karmelo's case. Because see, if y'all were about business, y'all would have been checking these dockets and noticing these people weren't doing nothing. Okay? All last year. But see, everybody was into it. Everybody was into it. You had the Karmelo people. They're trying to organize, get stuff done. They started getting into it. You got the Sarah Lake. Everybody doing stuff, going at each other. And it took the attention off of the bigger mission. Not to say that certain people didn't have good intentions and were really about business, but some of the other stuff, I feel, this is just my opinion, overshadowed what the whole goal and the mission was. And in his whole case, he took a hit because of people's personal agendas. Allegedly, he was the one giving bad advice with the attorney selection. Yeah, that's what I heard too. I don't know how true it is. I want to see more praying and more praying. Exactly. Obi, I don't think I could have kept anyone from the first trial around. I agree. I definitely agree. I definitely wouldn't trust none of them. The way that they got, y'all, the way that they got played from both sides, the whole defense attorneys played in their face. So then it goes back to, this is how you will really weed out some more snakes. Who recommended those attorneys? And I remember with Dominique, I was reading something one day that he was helping to campaign for another DA, helping him with his campaign. So then it came a point to, I think that DA was over a case, but he had to recuse himself from it because Dominique had helped him campaign. Toby Shook, which was one of Karmelo's attorneys, was like, and I'm paraphrasing this, oh, good job to that DA. Good job recusing yourself. Because he knew that that DA had helped, Dominique had helped that DA campaign. I've been trying to see, is there a connection between him and either one of those lawyers? Because I still go back to, let me see if I can find this moment. During that press conference, and a reporter had asked, Mike Howard, how were you selected? And it was almost like he was shut down. Do y'all remember that little moment? I'm going to see if I can find it right quick. He was shut down, like really quick. Like, you ain't got to tell him that. Why? What happened? Why were we so quick to shut that down? Let's see here. Because I think it was under, because it was one of the live, was it the live I did? But it was like, it's the attorney Mike Howard ready. Let me go back to the lives. It may have been a live. Give me 1 second. Make sure y'all hit that like button. It is for free. And watch, I may not even be able to find. Okay, here it is. Okay, let me get to that part. Because I've been trying to find the connection. Okay, hold on 1 second. Okay, let's share this. Okay, so standing to his left is Dominique Alexander. Okay, so let's watch this little short part.
I anticipate that he will be able to make bond. I can't speak to how quickly that will go. You know, funds, you know, in the funds that have been raised are not.
Hey, oh boy, I agree.
And then, you know, there's obviously a process to the release process once bond is posted.
The big question that a lot of people have is why was this young man armed on school property?
That's an understandable question, but it's not something that, frankly, we're prepared to even go into. You know, this is something that I know the police and the prosecution want to get it right and want to have a full and fair investigation, and so do we. So it would be irresponsible for me or them at this point to start saying this is what happened, this is why, anything. So,
well, he never got to that part. When he was talking about this day, I was like, oh, well, he knows, you know, what happened, and this part is going to come out in court. It didn't. It didn't. Y'all relying on what the prosecutors are going to put out there, but did y'all explain it? No. So even on that part, okay, yes, you reap what you sow, right? Someone in the family allegedly referred Mike Howard. He wanted the least amount, and because of time restraints, they went with him. Okay, let's continue. Get to that part.
I understand that's a big question. It's going to be a big question, and it's something that we will find out. And we ask that the public, as hard as it is, withhold judgment and let both of these families have justice. That let both of these young men, you know, the Metcalf family and the memory of who they've lost, but also Karmelo, have a fair and full justice process.
How has he? Your feeling on the reduction of this bond? You feel it's fair?
Yeah, I feel it's fair. You know, bond, as the judge said, is not supposed to be an instrument of oppression. It's not supposed to keep people in jail. It's not supposed to punish. It's supposed to ensure that a person shows up to court, complies with all conditions, and it's supposed to keep the community safe. So this is a large and substantial bond, and the judge has, I think, rightly imposed reasonable conditions that will ensure both Karmelo and the Anthony family's safety, but also the safety of the community.
What was Karmelo's reaction today? He didn't seem very talkative toward you. And how has jail, I guess, been so far for this teenager? And does he look on suicide watch or anything like that?
I honestly can't speak to Karmelo's reaction because I was so focused on the hearing and what was going on and what the judge was saying. You know, I think we have to all remember Karmelo is a 17-year-old kid who's never been in any sort of trouble before. If you can just put yourself in his shoes, this is a scary, bewildering process. And I can't even imagine what was going through his head, just as I'm sure I can't imagine what was going through the heads of the Metcalf family. So
now he should have used some of this for the opening or closing statements. Okay, right. He should have used some of this during the trial. At least you're trying to make him humanize him more. Okay? Because I don't think you did a great job of doing that during the trial, sir.
So, you know, this is something that is new to all of them and incredibly trying.
So for people who want to know, why were you selected? I mean, what is your experience?
Here comes.
I mean, you had to be really good.
I can't speak as to why I was selected. You know, in any case, it's important to have an attorney that you connect with, that you feel has the right amount of experience and the right investment in the case. And I'm not speaking to anybody else. I just know that, you know, that's important in any case.
Just how unsafe is this family?
Did y'all see that? He was like, you ain't got to answer that. Watch.
Just as I'm sure I can't imagine what was going through the heads of the Metcalf family. So, you know, this is something that is new to all of them and incredibly trying.
So for people who want to know, why were you selected? I mean, what is your experience? I mean, you had to be really good.
I can't speak as to why I was selected. In any case, it's important to have an attorney that you connect with, that you feel has the right amount of experience and the right investment in the case. And I'm not speaking to anybody else. I just know that that's important in any case.
Just how unsafe does this family feel? You mentioned it multiple times.
Yeah, look, I'm not going to speak for them at this point, but I think you can imagine the press coverage on this case has been immense, and the online and public reaction has been immense. And unfortunately, as is common in our culture, especially lately, the vitriol and the public reaction one way or the other has been intense. And threats and talk of race war and all kinds of insanity isn't good for, obviously, the Anthony family. It's not good for the Metcalf family. It's not good for the peace and safety of our community. So, I would.
Did y'all hear the pattern? Anytime he's trying to take up for Karmelo, he includes the Metcalf family. Y'all notice? See, he was too on the fence even back then. Right, just one. This is very telling when you go back in hindsight and see everything. He was already on the fence. I mean, if we go back, now I done heard a few times, he can't even really be on like trying to stick up for Karmelo and show more about him without including. I'm not saying be harsh or talk against, but this your client. You need to be focused on what they're asking you involving Karmelo. But you making sure you stay on the fence where you don't go too much on that side. You notice the 105K? I'm picking that up. Like this is why you got to go back and see stuff multiple times. Because it seems like now that we're watching it again, that some stuff is standing out to me this time that I didn't even pay attention to the last time. Okay, he's too on the fence for me even back then. No, sir, I'm asking you about Karmelo. Okay. But this would have been an indicator of how he was going to play in the court. See, he played it too safe. When you have a whole man on trial, young man on trial for murder, you can't play it safe like this. Okay, you can't be on the fence. Oh, yeah, my client did it, but hey, I feel y'all over here. How that's going to work? How is that supposed to work? He did not have this young man's best interest at the forefront. No. And thank God for the other judge that at least got his bail reduced, his bond reduced. She said Melo told him the boys jumped on me and they had me in a headlock and chokehold. He ignored it. Probably so. Yes, I hope they catch it. Okay. They just need to go back and look at this video.
Would ask, and I know both sides would ask, that the temperature on this be allowed to come down, that the media, you guys have a job to do, and I understand that everyone does, but at the same time, we just ask everyone in the public and everywhere to let this process play out fairly and fully for both sides. Thank you, guys.
Ever thought about becoming a teacher now?
For both sides. He represented both sides. Where they do that at? I ain't never seen nothing like that in my life. Okay. He really didn't want to represent. He probably didn't. I'm telling you, that's how it's coming across. When we go back and look at that. And you could tell when Dominique whispered, he was telling him to look like you ain't got to answer that. Because people were wondering how were they chosen or how was he chosen? Now, this is the thing too. Notice during this press conference, Mike Howard was put out front. But see, the play, and I think the main player was Toby Shook. See, people probably would have realized the play more if Toby Shook was put out front. Like, hold up, that's Toby Shook. Wait a minute, him and Worski gonna be on opposite sides. Y'all boys though. See, both of them really, either one of y'all or both of y'all should have recused yourselves, because to me that's a conflict of interest. I really feel like that's a conflict. Okay. Y'all friends, y'all done been prosecutors together, doing all this. I don't think that was going to work. Okay. I don't even think that would work like that. If y'all could be fair, could they be fair while we talking about black people? Are black people able to be fair and unbiased? I mean, could they be? Because they're boys, they're friends, they're on the same lawsuit sometimes. This is crazy. When he got that call, he called the judge afterwards immediately. Probably so. He sounded like Lulu. Oh, yes. Right. When she said, let the investigation play out. And we see what happened with that. Okay. Right. Once a DA, always a DA. Ooh, I don't understand how these people can sleep at night. That's what I was thinking too, Mary Tay, one day. I was like, how do y'all sleep at night? Knowing some of the dirt and things that y'all have been doing and getting away with. How do you sleep at night knowing you had a young man to represent and you snaked him? And now he's sitting in a prison with a verdict of 35 years. Never been in trouble before. And it took all of the money. I don't see how they sleep at night. My conscience will be bothering me. You're right. Evil doesn't have a conscience. Okay? That would bother me. Eddie, how you sleeping? Hunter, how you sleeping? Like, I don't understand. I really don't, y'all. And going back in hindsight, looking at this, that man was already on the fence. Already. That is crazy. And I wanted to share this with y'all, just something kind of different. Let me see. Where was the video? I think I'm on the wrong picture. Hold on. Oh, okay. It's a short video. Now, with the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, and then the Wallace Pack Unit, they shared this video. This is something that they do at some of the prisons for Father's Day. You know, Father's Day just passed. And I thought that this was a good program that they have. And so I was looking at the video and I was like, man, will we see Karmelo? Like, y'all, I steady follow this page every once in a while to see if perhaps he will be in one of these pictures or photos or videos. Hold on, let me share. Give me 1 second.
We do Day with Dads, which is what we're doing today, where the children come in and they get to spend the full day with their dads.
Yes, Tom J. Rose.
Just being kids. And the dads just get to be dads. They get to have lunch together, play games together, and just spend a full day with each other.
So back in 2008, we started a brand new church, and we just wanted to serve. And we would drive into church, and we said, whatever God puts in front of us, that's what we want to do. And they were wanting volunteers to do a program called Day with Dads. And we did our first one in 2008 and at the Telford unit. And we've been very blessed, and God's opened the doors ever since.
2, 3. I'm very blessed to have a wife that has stood by me while incarcerated with the kids. And we have a good relationship through letters and over the phone. But it really adds a new dynamic where we can sit across from one another for an extended period of time. Instead of a 2-hour visit, it's all day where we can interact and playing board games. And I can teach some of those values that we have beyond just a short visit. Beyond the visit, it's something I take back for the rest of the week, the rest of the month, where I'm building those memories with my children. For some of these men, they haven't seen their kids ever. One guy has a 7-year-old daughter, and he hasn't seen her since she was 6 months old. For other guys, they haven't seen their parents in 20 years. So this event really allows families to reconnect and rehabilitate that relationship before they walk out the door and go home.
We've watched reconciliation happen where after they came into the unit and they've been there for multiple years, they had no relationship with the kids and they brought their children in, and just because they're forced to spend that full day together across the table from each other, by the end of the day, they are hugging each other, they're crying, they have reconciliation. So I think that's one of the biggest things that the dads get to feel, is that they are still dads and they are still loved. And I think it's so important also for the kids to know that just because their dad is away, that they are still loved by their dad.
Yes, it is. So they host those events, y'all, for Father's Day throughout all of the different units. And so the unit that Karmelo is at is the PAC unit, and Wallace PAC unit. And so I just kind of been going through. If you want to follow, you could follow on Facebook. And they have different events even there, like even for the correctional officers. It seems like they allow them to do different events. You know, it's not just this big prison. So that kind of makes me feel a little better when I go through and just look at the pictures and so forth, and kind of getting familiar with some of the correctional officers there. They celebrate them, appreciate them, and so forth. Seems more of like some elderly people there, or people in wheelchairs, some of the older inmates. And I don't think it's one of the ones with a lot of violence and so forth. So yeah, and I've also been seeing on different people's Facebook pages, I've seen a couple of comments where people have been writing to Karmelo. They've stated that they have been writing. So now I'm seeing like some responses from him on some of those posts. I don't know if it's real, but it looked like, based off of, I've seen a couple that he's responded. Okay, so has anyone in the chat, have y'all tried writing him and he's responded back to you? Yes, I do love that. They were shaking hands and making deals all over this case. Yep, Dominique got his cut allegedly. Otherwise, he would have been there. He's another Charleston. Right. Oh, Lord. Okay. I feel like it was people with multiple agendas being involved in this situation. And unfortunately, Karmelo had to take a hit. And that's the part that would be sad, because his case was not taken seriously enough. Behind the scenes, if you have people on both sides allegedly playing a game, they are playing with your freedom. Okay. God's got Karmelo just like God had Joseph in prison. Come on now, say that, Protector 91. Okay. He was with him even in prison. And he gonna be with him. So we're gonna continue to follow up. I think I'm gonna type my letter too. I probably will. Y'all, I have not handwritten. We have gotten so used to technology. I don't think I've handwritten a letter since I was in middle school. Okay. We type up everything. I was like, do I type it or do I want to do a handwritten? I just might actually do a handwritten note of encouragement and send that to Karmelo, you know. So those of you who I did post like the address, P.O. box on the community wall. So make sure y'all check that out if you're interested in sending him something or writing a letter. And he may respond. I don't know. But I've been seeing different posts of people saying that he responded and showing like a little screenshot of it. So I don't know. Let's see. That's the part that breaks my heart the most. He's not built for this. As a mental health advocate, I can only imagine what he's feeling, right? And I hope that word gets to him that he has a whole army behind him that's rooting for him, speaking up on his behalf, praying that he gets a fair trial. And that's not, you know, some people may think it's oh, we just want Karmelo to get out of jail. Yeah, it would be nice, but the first step would be, can he at least get a fair trial? Can we at least present all of the evidence? Can we at least show a clear video? Is that too much to ask? Could we expect fidelity and integrity in a case? Is that too much to ask? Okay. But I feel like we didn't even get that part. It has, he knows, and that's what will keep him going. Right, exactly. I know he's mentally going through it, especially seeing that boy Eddie threw him under the bus. You know, if anything, honey 5K, that's probably like one of the biggest things that he is probably shocked by the amount of people that betrayed him, that were on that stand probably lying. He probably knew it was a lie, and he never got the opportunity. That's the part, to counter. His own lawyers did not counter what these people were doing and saying. I think, if anything, that will be the hardest part. That's the hardest pill to swallow, where you have to look at people tarnishing your name, lying on you, and you never once got a chance to get on the stand to tell your side. And then your friend, someone you thought was a friend, well, y'all, he betrayed him even before court. Okay? He had already told the police the day that it happened that he didn't know Karmelo, but he didn't realize another student had already told the police that Eddie would know the guy. And then allegedly, what was stated in court, that one of the coaches said he had to hold Eddie back because he said he wanted to unalive Karmelo. Why are we not bringing attention to that? That's a whole threat. A coach said that on the stand. How come there's not attention being brought to one student saying he wanted to unalive Karmelo? One of the students that was sitting under the tent. Was Karmelo in fear for his life? If you have a whole student that was sitting under the tent that is now running after him, chasing him down, saying he wanted to unalive him. Why was that not brought up? Why did the defense let that slide? You're so worried about Eddie acknowledging whether or not he really knows Karmelo. Okay, you caught him in a lie. He lied to the police. Okay, great. Okay. But y'all allowed him to get on that stand and did not really cross-examine him. You were supposed to get a little deeper into that thing based off of the testimony that was just given in court about what he was saying and doing. I would have turned that thing around on him. So you mean to tell me, sir, you were sitting under the tent with Karmelo? You were one of the ones chasing him. And then one of the coaches had to hold you back because you said you wanted to unalive Karmelo. How dare you? Why? Why would you want to unalive someone that you called your friend at one point? I would have turned that thing around. Okay? Why are we not bringing attention to that? That's a whole threat on that man's life. Why was that not brought up? You had a coach that was so, Queen Sheba said, I think, impassioned, going after Karmelo to the point where one of the coaches had to tell him to get himself together and go somewhere because he was doing too much, basically. So now the whole team following, and they trying to come after Karmelo. You got a whole coach leading. You supposed to be the leader, the one in charge, coming after him. So the boys probably feel like, oh, a coach going after him, we can too. Why are we not talking about that? How come that wasn't brought up or cross-examined in court? She said, Karmelo is built by God. His family raised him in the fear of God. He has a servant's heart. Right. You would have to tell Karmelo that for us so he does not lose his faith in us. Yes. Okay. imagine the strain on his relationship with his girlfriend knowing Eddie was involved. And like, I do agree with Dr. Umar. I don't agree with him on a lot of stuff. But this particular thing, I do agree. Karmelo does not need to talk to anyone about anything related to this case, unless it's his parents or his attorneys. I wouldn't trust the people in jail, although, you know, some of them might be a little nice to you right now, whatever. They think you're a celebrity. I wouldn't tell none of them. And I definitely wouldn't talk to Eddie or the girlfriend. They have been compromised. And you know how when someone is compromised, they are now an op. Okay? I would not talk to them at all. Don't call me. Don't write me no letters. Don't send me any pictures. He needs tunnel vision and to stay focused on this appeal. Okay. Hi, Dario. Hunter did it. He was gone when Austin got stabbed. Right. He was gone. But see, they are not paying attention to that part. That Karmelo was out of that tent and you could still see movement. They're not focused on that. That's sad. It's also being said there was some Facebook beef with CA and Austin. Maybe that was the altercation people were referring to. That's why they're saying he had bad intentions. I don't believe it. Who had bad intentions? This is why I said Eddie needs to be locked up in prison, not jail, but prison, and prison for life for what he said. Yeah, that's a whole threat. Why wasn't he arrested? That's a threat. Yeah, he set it all up. Allegedly. Oh, you think that was Hunter? They said it was a different guy. And he tried to say his brother died in his arms, right? To place himself on the scene, but yet no one could identify who did it, right? He was not. The coach had said during the testimony that he pushed Hunter over to by the fence. He was trying to push him away while they were applying pressure. So how are you holding him again? Like, stop. Okay, stop. Yeah, don't talk to her. He doesn't have a girlfriend. Yeah, he needs to get rid of her. She wasn't even in court to support him. Ooh. Yeah, she did that one post. And she probably gonna move on anyways. Yeah, she's probably been moved on. I would not talk to her. She has been compromised. The friends have all been compromised. Nope, we don't know what if they threaten them, if they promise them something to get close to you and get info. Nope. I wouldn't trust any of them. Nope. I would just talk to my attorneys and my parents. That's it. As fast as he was running, he could have came back. Yeah. Okay. And you know what? Something I thought about today. I said, if Karmelo really wanted to do this, like this evil thing, and get away, he was fast enough to get away. He could have kept his mouth closed. But in his mind, this is what I'm thinking. I can't read his thoughts. I just feel like he was like, if I take some accountability, let me not run, let me face the music, and let them know that what happened, I'm taking accountability and I'm responsible. But in that, I don't know what he was really admitting to, where it was to the point he was asking if he's going to be okay. And then when the coach said he didn't think Karmelo thought he had stabbed him where he thought he stabbed him, then what could have taken place where he didn't think it was that serious? I think he thought that by him admitting certain things, that he would not have been in as much trouble as he had gotten into. I think he thought that Austin was going to pull through, that this was just something minor and he was actually going to pull through. I don't think he thought he would die from something. That's what makes me question, did he feel that it was that serious? Where was she as a character witness? Girl, at home. Okay. Yeah, some people can send him books. He had to put that other weapon away, allegedly. Okay. See what jealousy would do. All of them hated Karmelo. And it was a tent tool. Why was there a knife? The way they described a tent tool, it doesn't compare to what was presented, right? Is she Lulu in training? Uh-oh. Okay, yeah. It was a lot of fighting. It was a lot of fighting. He admitting to fighting? Because on the police body cam, we didn't hear him say, I stabbed him. The only place I've seen that was with that one coach, Hooper, who said Karmelo told him, I was protecting myself, I stabbed him. I want to know, did Karmelo use those words? I stabbed him. Did he use those words? I just want to know. I mean, he may have, I don't know. We can't hear that though. It's what he's saying. And Karmelo has not spoken up. So if Karmelo confirms it, okay, I don't know. But he hasn't said that where we could hear him. Oh yeah, definitely Candy Girl Pink. But I also think he is tenacious and perseveres. I think his character, what his parents have instilled into him, his belief in God, being a captain, the training that it takes, even in sports, I think it has prepared him for such a time as this, for prison. Those things that they didn't know were helping to prepare him in life. I think he will be okay. I think it was probably a shock to his whole being and system, but I don't think it would break him. I think it bent him probably, but I don't think it's going to break him. Those are two totally different things. I think he's going to bounce back, buckle down. He seems like a very smart and intelligent young man based off of his GPA, his accolades, the various scholarships. He had 21 scholarships, 2 football scholarships. So I think he's definitely going to be okay. Right, Taberly. Yes, that's what we heard. Yeah, I think so too. So as of now, the new attorneys, they have submitted a motion for a new trial, y'all, if you have not heard. And something tells me, I don't know if this part is true though, that they're asking for a change in venue as well. Or was it the judge to recuse himself? No. For the judge to recuse himself, to not be over the appeal part, any parts of that. But do y'all think that he would recuse himself? Hey, Blue Ski, welcome. What do y'all think about that? Do y'all think because the judge is about to retire and seeing how all of this went from the trial, do y'all think he would recuse himself? Karmelo was under spiritual warfare. They could see he was going to excel, and they let the demons use him. That roach ain't moving nowhere. She said, I don't think the roach moving nowhere. He a cloud chasing judge. Uh-oh. Okay, so a Mama Magazine thinks he would recuse himself. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence with it. One piece of me says he may, because he's about to retire and he knows a lot of stuff he allowed in that courtroom to go on should not have gone on. He may be scared. But then a part of me thinks like, yeah, Blueski, he's the only judge I've ever seen do 2 interviews, child, after they had a trial. So I don't know. And maybe to keep control of things. I think they know something. Yup. I think they do too. I believe that. And you know what? Those attorneys probably went through and started looking over that stuff and was like, woo, child, it's too many errors. We just need a whole new trial. It's so much stuff that went wrong and that we did not receive or see. We need a whole new trial. Okay. They could not even just go with, let's just go down the list of errors. Child, was too many. It was probably just so much. They like, well, where is evidence at? Well, where is evidence? Well, why they didn't object to this? Well, what? They lied? What? Now, wait a second. Wait, where's the weapon? Well, where the forensics? Child, they probably said, we just need a whole new trial. This is crazy work. They probably thought they were being punked. By the time they got a hold of things. Yes, he will provide. That makes so much sense. God is in control. He watching the clock. And come on now. Okay. It's a possibility because what he did was abuse Karmelo's constitutional rights. He violated Karmelo's rights. So there have to be some sort of charge or punishment for that roach. Oh. And you know what? There may be like some type of lawsuit of being crunk people getting involved. That's true. Karmelo would have one of the biggest success stories. I keep seeing him walking out the doors. Ooh, speak it. Okay. Blueski. Look, we can only hope. Like, maybe we were all being punked that this was some type of... Girl, Karmelo probably saying, no, it ain't. She was, I'm still in this prison. Girl, that's what it seemed like. A mock trial. Okay, this ain't the real thing. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and flee the country because when all this comes out, he may have charges. On the other hand, he likes control. Yes, exactly. What did Cat Williams say? All things will be exposed. Child, Cat Williams ain't never lied. Okay. He said that thing one time for the past 2 years. It wasn't just a 1 year exposure. It's been multiple years. Okay. No, roaches run when lights come on. Not or when evidence is presented. Okay. So but they gonna run. Oh Lord, they got the cell phone footage. Oh Lord, they done got all the angles. They got all of the angles of the video cameras. Oh Lord, they calling in more witnesses. Ooh, child. They not prepared for that. Okay. They are not prepared to get objections. Because see, they did object to those jury instructions, but the judge was overruling a lot of the defense, their requests. So they're going to take a look at all of that on the transcript. They need to get them crowdfunding going so after the trial, we can help them relocate. But the only thing with that, they report a lot of those and they take them down. So, you know, a lot of that, it may just have to be through, like, I was just saying, get a general fund account at a bank and people can just send money directly to that account and it will go into a bank. You got to say no to the roach. Yeah, that may be the only way because they can't stop bank accounts. that judge is going to have the worst retirement ever. He's being sued. I think he will be. I think he will be sued. It's a lot of things. And you know what? See, the thing of it is, a lot of them did those interviews. And when he came out and did those 2 interviews, and notice he kept using the word fair, fair, fair. He was trying to program people to think what he did was fair. Sir, I don't care if you say it 50,000 times, okay? Nothing about that was fair. Nothing. But he kept trying to reiterate fair. It was fair because we wanted to make sure it was fair. It was, no, it wasn't. So a lot of the things that he said in those 2 interviews are going to come back and bite him in the behind. Okay. Pulling down wickedness in high places, judges, prosecutors, politicians, and police. God is about to use the saints to govern the people. Yeah, exactly. Like this here, it's been so much probably happening over there in that county till now a light is being shined on that county. Okay, they want to be in the spotlight. Y'all got it. He's talking about this is how we want trials to look. This should be the standard. No, this is what not to do. Okay, sir, this is what not to do. People can file a complaint against him and the DA because they should not have presided with the charge. Oh, yes, with the charges they have against them. Okay, Dr. Candace Matthews came and exposed all of it. I would not have wanted to be, oh my gosh. See, he did not think that was going to come out. Now, the lawsuit with Worski and who else was on that lawsuit? Was it I know Worski. I don't know if Toby. No, I don't think Toby Shook was. But yeah. No, Willis. Yeah. Willis and Worski. That was public. Okay. People kind of knew about that lawsuit. But that information about the judge, that child, I don't think nobody knew about that. That was a game changer. Okay. Anything public, they're going to come after. They're going to have to be old school, barbecue or fish, hosted by not do a barbecue or a frosted fish. Okay. Every time I heard fair, it makes me focus on how unfair it was. Okay. Who is Thelma? Who is that? Who is Thelma? Thelma? Who's Thelma? Is that wait, Thelma? Who's that name?
That's not how it works anyway. Yeah. I didn't ask for it, but I was certainly willing to do it because that was my duty.
In your conversations with, I guess it's an administrative judge who goes, I know they go down the list and they say, all right, it's your turn and it's your turn. As they go through all the conflicts of judges potential conflicts, when they come and say, John, this may be yours, your first reaction is?
I'll take it. Every time. I think it's my job. It's my duty. That's what I was elected to do. Yeah. That's the oath that I took, and I'm going to do my job.
No consultation with your family or?
None.
No.
Nope.
And where does that come from?
I don't know. I think it's just duty. I think duty, whether that's duty in the Marine Corps or just duty to my family and stuff, I take duty really seriously. And I took this job to perform that duty. And if that's what I had to do, that's what I have to do.
But y'all, I should have gotten that video. I got to find it again. It just hit me. His court, this judge originally was not even supposed to be over criminal cases. When they started off, they did not handle criminal cases. And I said, what made him want to all of a sudden get into criminal cases? I got to find that video because someone pulled an old video where he talked about the type of cases he wanted to reside over. So why all of a sudden you really wanted to be over this Carmelo Anthony case? That's suspect too. She said spray it. Not that, wait, somebody, y'all, I was in somebody's chat when this first came out. They said sitting up there looking like Kevin Spacey. I was like, then when I started looking, I said, he does remind me of Kevin Spacey. He didn't do anything for Carmelo, right?
Did you fully at the time grasp the enormity of that decision and the outside stuff?
I don't know. I think in some ways I did. I think in other ways I didn't.
Right.
I certainly knew it was very, very important case within our community. I didn't think I realized the enormity of the social media and the media during the trial.
How long have you been prepping for this trial?
I've been prepping for this trial with the departments, with the Collin County system, with the sheriff's office and everybody for about 8 months.
Is that the longest you've ever had to prep?
100%.
And this was y'all did it 8. That's what y'all did for 8 months.
And so my number one duty at that point in time getting the case was to how do we protect those minors who are critical to this case to come and testify.
Right, Mama Magazine.
I'm sure you've already read and know that one of your fellow judges has already been doxxed and swatted and all the
Yes,
things.
Dre Rose, I saw that.
And still no reluctance from wanting to take it on.
None.
Yeah. The decision to not have cameras or any kind of streaming, was that an easy one?
Yes, it was an easy decision. And I'll tell you why. My primary goal in any case is to make sure that the defendant and the prosecution gets a fair trial.
Oh, fair.
Period.
We got to.
I have seen from other cases around the country where cameras in the courtroom changed the way that the judge acted, the lawyers acted, some of the witnesses acted, and we were not going to have that here. We were going to really isolate the purpose for which we were here for.
Well, my interpretation was we didn't want that in here because they didn't want people to hear us sleeping. We hear I'm being rude in here. They didn't want to know, the jury over there sleeping and all of that. Because you know what? Look, if it's minors in there, I don't want to hear that. Because all you have to do is not put the camera on them, okay? Blur out a face or something. This is not the first trial where there were minors. Okay? So please stop with that. That's not the reason. Y'all know what y'all were doing because y'all know that y'all weren't doing jack. And you knew people were going to go live talking about how y'all weren't doing jack. And that y'all were doing some fishy stuff. It was to cover up what y'all were doing. It had nothing to do with things being fair and people, the judge acting the way. No, act the way you're supposed to act. Then you don't have nothing else to say. Okay? If you don't have nothing to cover up, you should want full transparency for the people and for that person to have a fair trial. She said, you can't tell me he ain't sizzling. He's lying. Look at the way he's sitting. Okay, body language is everything. Okay? Buttercup still hanging in here. Nicolas Cage. Wait, not Nicolas Cage. Now that's a new one. Okay. They said the Joker. He's sitting there about to poop on himself. Melo should have been charged as a minor. Yeah, y'all didn't even treat him like a minor. Okay. That's the whole go-to for everything. That's the go-to for the video. Oh, we can't show the full video because, it's minors. Oh, well, we don't want any audio or video because it's minors. As much technology as these kids have, they own everything, okay? Yeah. Cameras, he would have acted like he had some sense. Exactly. That part.
which is to have that fair trial.
A joke.
And cameras in the courtroom did not enter into that equation at all.
How much grief did you get from people around you about that decision?
I don't know. I don't listen to it. I just flat don't listen to what's going on the outside. I do what I think is right, no matter what decision that is. And I sleep well at night knowing if I follow the law, then everything works out like it's supposed to. And so these outside influences, all the noise from the outside, I really isolated myself from that in this case and in all cases, and just do my job, do the best I can, following the law.
How do you think we're talking with the attorneys, other attorneys outside of
they
outside
should
of this.
be.
How do you think they describe
18 or 19 by now.
Strict, no nonsense, fair.
Fair.
And that, to me, is the most important part. I know for a fact when I make a decision here, people are unhappy. What I hope is when they walk out the door that they think they got a fair trial.
3.
Or fair hearing or fair something. And if they do that, no matter
4.
what they think about me personally, then I've succeeded.
And you're okay with any of those characterizations?
I think they're fair.
Yeah.
5.
I hate to have to ask about stuff that emerges on social media, but I have to ask it. And I know you don't know of any of it because you're not on social media.
I'm on it. I mean, I'm an elected official, so I have a Facebook page and stuff. Do I look at it? Do I monitor it? Do I let it impact me? None, not at all.
So I have to ask, do you have a personal relationship with the Metcalfs?
I wouldn't know Mr. Metcalf prior to this trial if he walked up to me and said hello. I don't know the Metcalfs. I sympathize with the Metcalfs and what they've been through and all, but I don't know them personally. Never have.
So these AI images emerging of you and them at a party or drinking together, all
Never
of
happened.
that.
And that's the problem with social media, isn't it? You can't tell what's true and what's not true. I will tell you, I got some reports of some things that were coming out of this courtroom, and I wondered to myself, were they even in the same courtroom that I was? It's that bad, and I think that's tragic, because I think really if you just listen to the case based upon the facts, you'd understand it so much better.
Do you think it reinforced your decision to not have cameras or streaming inside this?
Sort of. I will tell you this. Sometimes I think maybe I should have at least the audio streamed or something so people could hear it.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I don't think no matter what, people are going to distort whatever happens or whatever they hear.
Whatever. It's an excuse for it. And Shamika, right. And when it's a murder trial, I looked that up. It's not just considered perjury. It's considered aggravated perjury if you lie during a murder trial. Okay. So now all of a sudden, oh, well, I could have just had audio. Duh. Okay. See, he didn't want people's voices because see, then the kids at school, all of that starts questioning. Oh, I heard you. So what happened? Trying to get the truth out of them. They're trying to control the narrative and make sure things were contained as much as possible. He failed. Yeah. Then explain your business and his affiliation. He condemned social media a lot, but social media is going to break this whole case. Thank you. And they are a lie because the reason I know he pays attention is there was one day when the jury was going home, he told the jury not to pay attention to social media because we don't know what we're talking about. First of all, the jury is not supposed to be watching social media anyways. So why would you have to remind them not to look at social media? And how do you know what we're talking about on social media if you don't look at social media? Why do you even have a social media account if you're not even on there to pay attention to stuff? I just don't understand that. Okay. He's got the whole world on his head. Do you see how, girl, you silly. Okay. His KKK. Those charges coming for sure. Watch the Super 6 walk them down. Come on now. Okay. Social media equals the jury. He know we were picking this case apart. That's why he selected the 9 media outlets that were going to be in there. They were only going to report the bare minimum. Okay. They're not going to tell us the juicy stuff like the content creators. Okay. See, they had all of the details and so forth. Baby, CBS News gave us little short summaries or so, they're not going to go into details and they know it. He perjuring his own self. How he going to charge someone else? Okay. Why were they allowed to go home? That's the thing too, my point. I don't know why he didn't sequester them the first time. He threatened to sequester them if they didn't make a decision when he wanted them to make a decision. Okay. They should have been sequestered.
Into their own agenda. And so what's the point? And again, that noise affects people. It affects the fairness of the trial, the safety of the witnesses, the safety of the jury. And those are my primary concerns, not what social media says. And it's not my duty. I don't think it's my job to feed social media or the media stuff. I certainly understand the role that media plays in a case like this, but I'm not here to feed it. And I took that very, very seriously.
But Judge, when people don't have access to the trial or the courtroom, doesn't it invite speculation?
Well, sort of, but I got 70 seats in my courtroom, and I had 200 requests by the media to sit in the courtroom. So let's say if I just entertain the press, then I have nobody from the public watching what's going on in their county. And so I had to do a balance between the media's right to know and to be able to report what's going on, because I think that's extraordinarily important. I think it's important that the general public had access to the courtroom and to see what was going on. And so I tried to balance all those things with the primary, again, purpose of having a fair trial. And I think I struck that balance pretty well.
But the media's right to know is the public's right to know. I mean, is the public's access. We are the extension of that public.
Exactly.
I think somebody from the public who wanted to come watch a trial and know that they were excluded from a trial because all the media was there, I beg to differ.
Do you think there was a possibility for a learning experience? I mean, people do not know about how trial works. Do you think that this may have been an opportunity for people to know how it truly works, and that kind of erases some of the negative notions of court and trial?
I'm doing this
justice.
interview with you to make sure that people understand how the system works. And if they really wanted to, and I mean this seriously, if they wanted to, they could have stood in line with everybody else and had the 27 to 32 public seats that we had in this courtroom that we rotated every day. And so it was that important to them.
That whole process was a hot mess. Okay. It caused so much confusion and conflict, people fighting in line like they at a concert somewhere. That was a whole mess. They didn't think that through. Okay. Now, maybe he could have limited the number of seats for the families. Like, look, y'all got 2 or 3 seats here, 2 or 3 seats here. Then you got your non-media. Then, I mean, maybe a number system. I don't know. But that was a hot mess, how they had to do that every day. People having accidents just to get in line, skipping and all of that. Yeah, that didn't go too well. My concern is the tension after Melo is vindicated. Oh, my concern is the tension after Melo vindicated, right? Sir, that's 70% of your job. So family got 43 out of 70. That's what I'm saying. That wasn't handled properly. And you know what? It could have alleviated as many people trying to get in there if it was on video or audio, because some people could have just watched it on their own and reported off of what, was going on. He knew what people were going to do, and they knew they weren't doing the right things. So he did not want proof out there of that. The only way people will see what really kind of happened was through the transcripts whenever those are released. And hopefully it's released with all facts to the way they moving. Should have used 2 courtrooms, party news, and the main courtroom, everyone else in the extra room watching from the live TV. Because didn't they do that for the Diddy trial? They had the overflow. Yeah, have some type of overflow room. That's a good point. That retrial has to happen to expose the lies so people will not feel betrayed. Exactly.
They could have made it in here.
How did you plan for some of the outside noise?
Well, we were certainly playing with the sheriff's office and the McKinney Police Department and the Allen Police Department and the Frisco Police Department. So those were talks that we're having 8 months before the trial to ensure the safety of the people out in the parking lots. They certainly had a right to demonstrate and all, and I think we struck a very, very good balance that allowed them to do that, at the same time maintaining safety of everybody involved.
Did it affect your day-to-day decisions?
It didn't. Actually, I didn't. I came in from a different entrance from the courthouse. I didn't come in through the front. I couldn't hear any noise at all from my office. The jurors were not facing the parking lot, so they didn't see anything or hear anything. And I think we did a marvelous job in isolating them and having them concentrate just on what was going on in this courtroom, which was my instruction from the very, very beginning.
What made this trial different?
I think it started off bad. And it started off bad with the doxing and the swatting of the judge and the parties, the witnesses, and all that stuff. So I think it started off bad, and I'm going to attribute that to social media. And I think social media got it wrong. And it is what it is. I think that's something we have to live with these days. But I think it's my responsibility and other judges' responsibility to make sure no matter what's going on in social media, that someone can walk in a courthouse and get a fair trial.
Did it make it very different when you realized a lot of your witnesses are young witnesses?
No, look, I've been doing this for 20 years. A lot of the witnesses come in all shapes and sizes and colors and all that. And so that was normal for me. What wasn't normal for me is to have those witnesses be intimidated by things being said on social media, because those young people rely on social media more than I certainly do. And so that sure impacted me to make sure that they did not change their testimony. They were willing to come in and tell the truth without fear of being doxxed or swatted and stuff. And so I took every precaution.
Okay, now that stood out to me. Okay. What do you mean you were making sure they didn't change their testimony? How did you know what their testimony was going to be? Interesting. I hadn't really paid attention to that part at first. You wouldn't know what their testimony was. And what does social media have to do? Because you can't control that. If these kids are going back home every day, they're exposed to social media every day, all day. They're on it all day. So you can't control that. But I wanted to know, what do you mean about you want to make sure they didn't change their testimony? How do you know what their testimony was? Never caught that till right now. Interesting.
But I could, consistent with the law, to make that happen.
I know Steve brought it up too, and I know both sides probably brought it up as well. The AI images of people claiming to be inside this courtroom.
Yeah, that ticked me off a little bit, because if you're going to call yourself the press, then and people are going to depend on you to tell them what's going on in this courtroom, you should be telling the truth. And so Mr. Stoller, my public information officer, brought it to my attention that some news outlets were posting photos saying from inside the courtroom. And it wasn't my courtroom. It wasn't the witness. It wasn't their testimony. And that's tragic, because, again, that just breeds the narrative that these people want to cultivate in our community to drive a wedge between us. And I think that's terrible.
Since we're on the topic of image, can we talk about some of the drawings of you during the sketch art? What do you think? What do you think?
My wife would show me a drawing every once in a while of a court case going on. I couldn't figure out who the judge was. And it's all in serious. The sketch artist was awesome. She was very sweet. She was here every day, putting her life's work into those images. Because we didn't have cameras in the courtroom, that's the only visual that anybody got. She did a marvelous job. I think I'm more handsome than what she portrayed overall, but I'll let everybody else figure that out.
Did the jury get it right?
Yeah, they did. You know why? Because they were picked based upon the law. They listened to the facts that happened here in this very courtroom, and they got a verdict. And so that's the process. And whatever they say, they get it right.
There's going to be a lot of scrutiny over voir dire, and you denied the defense and the dismissing of 3 jurors who at least identified as African American on their bioforms. What did you make of that moment?
Well, that's not exactly how it works. The defense didn't dismiss them.
I'm sorry, the defense raised an objection.
They raised an objection, yeah. They have raised an objection. Like I told you before, as long as I follow the law, I sleep well at night. And I'm telling you, I follow the law in that case. Did I know what the perception was going to be? Sure. I knew in the back of my mind what the perception was going to be. But I'm not here to satisfy perceptions. I'm not here to satisfy agendas. I'm not here to do any of those things. I'm here to follow the law. And I did it to a T. And I'm proud of that. Very proud of that.
Right.
Is this your last big trial?
It's my last big trial. The sad part about it is, I will tell you before I leave at the end of the year, I'll try a couple more murder cases, for example. The parking lot won't be full. The gallery won't be full of people watching the case. But we still have somebody who's died and someone accused of doing the killing. And it won't draw the attention that this.
They might want to check how he handles those cases. Okay, he excited. No eyes gonna be on those cases. Not too many people in the courtroom.
Case did, and their death is no less tragic than the tragic death of the young man in this case. And so, big trial, I guess, from an outsider's perspective, and the social media and the media interest in the case. But crime still happens in Collin County, and every single person deserves to have as fair of a trial that Karmelo Anthony had.
8.
What's your take on Karmelo Anthony?
I don't know. I really don't know.
You've had a lot of defendants in your courtroom.
I have had a lot of defendants in my courtroom, and I talked to Mr. Anthony a couple times because I'm legally required to go over some things with him. He seems like a nice young man who
now he's nice.
Committed a crime, and he understands today more than any day before today the consequences of committing a crime like he did.
Last question.
Yes, sir.
The future of the justice system. What do you think about it when you realize you have all these social media influencers and citizen journalists?
I don't know. I hope that the judges that hear cases, period. I was about to say high-profile cases, but that's not it. It's just any case. Realizes the importance of their job, and their job is to be fair to the state and to the defendant, and to protect the people that come before them, and make just and right decisions based upon the law. And if we can do that, that's great. The influence of social media, I think, is going to continue to impact our communities everywhere. And I hope that we can rely upon our justice system to weed through the noise and find justice for everybody who comes through our doors.
This is a personal question I wanted to ask you.
Sure.
Do you understand why the legitimate media had to be a pain in your ass?
Legitimate media. There's this guy named Jobin, who I think was probably the worst of all of them. And no, I didn't understand how he could be that way. Look, I absolutely understand the media's role in all this. I mean, it's the First Amendment for a reason. It is absolutely the First Amendment for a reason. But at the same time, a defendant has a right to a fair trial, and the prosecution has a right to a fair trial. That's also in the Constitution. And so you just have to balance all those interests. And I'll honestly say, I think I balanced it well. And I know I made people mad, but I'm not here to make them happy either. I hope that the Metcalfs think that their son got a fair trial in this courtroom.
12.
As do I hope that the Anthony family thinks their son got a fair trial in this courtroom. I certainly think he did.
Did you feel the pressure of the other courts not being able to operate too?
So, of course, they're independent elected officials. They can operate if they want to.
Yeah, and some of them have.
They have.
Virtually. Yeah.
They have. We were trying to cut down on the sheriff's duty to transporting back and forth and stuff. And so I asked them if they could modify the way they are operating in court. They could go to Zoom like we did for a long time. They could, pick days that we weren't here, like on that first Tuesday. But it's up to them. It helped a lot that they cooperated. And by the way, that's one of the messages that I don't think I've been saying enough is what we did here was a well-oiled machine. I've never seen a case.
You want that on the record?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, we're on.
Okay. The case that we tried here in Collin County was a well-oiled machine. I mean, Collin County, it should be the model for high-profile cases from here on out. And that's because we started 8 months ago, and I met with anybody from facilities to IT to the audiovisual people to the sheriff's office we constantly came together and met to make sure that Collin County was going to be a focus for a minute.
But they didn't update nothing on that docket saying they did none of this work. They were doing all this work, still couldn't get a clear video. Child, bye.
And we wanted to make sure that everybody understood that, number one, don't come around and mess with Collin County. And because we're here for a job, that job is to make sure that everybody gets a fair trial and everybody's safe.
Right.
And we want it to go seamlessly. And one thing that does worry me a little bit is people go, oh, this was a 5-day case with the evidence. 5-day case, it must have been cut and dry. I don't know if that's true or not. It was 5 days because I wasn't wasting anybody's time. Our community needed to heal quickly.
Well, you had a man whose freedom was at stake and y'all didn't do nothing. How about that? Y'all didn't present hardly nothing. That's why it went by so fast. The original amount of time said 2 to 4 weeks. So what changed between the estimated time that this trial was going to take? With 21 witnesses from prosecution, okay, why was everything sped up so quickly? So you're talking about your community trying to heal at the stake of another man's freedom with lack of fidelity, integrity, evidence, all of that. Was it really worth it? Was it really worth it?
They needed this case over one way or another, but the case had to be fair first. But we accomplished that.
14.
But it was a gargantuan effort by every single person involved in Collin County and outside Collin County. And so we're very, very proud of our county, all of our employees, all of our elected officials, all of our judges, everybody in getting this case tried quickly because our community needed it to heal.
Thank you, Judge, for talking with us.
Sure.
Wow. 14 times from the time I started counting. Wow. He's trying to put that out there on repeat to get the people to feel that it's fair. You can't fool us. I don't care if you said it 50,000 times. Okay. We didn't feel that it was a fair trial. The time wasn't on the judge. He even rushed the jury. Exactly. He rushed the jury and told them that I will sequester you if you don't come up with a decision. Okay. They didn't want to be, that's like a threat almost. They didn't want to be, they should have been sequestered anyways on a murder trial. Okay. Right. This is crazy. Prayer for the dream team that they leave no stone unturned. Exactly. This is so sad. But y'all, that is all that I have tonight. Look, we were being fast for real. Okay. Thank y'all so much for tuning in and hanging out with your girl. I know y'all, I hope I don't regret this tomorrow morning. Well, really in the morning. We already in Sunday. Okay, knowing I got to get up. And I know y'all gonna be sleeping, and some of y'all. But thank y'all so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Cap X said fair equals fraudulent, absurd, ineffective representation, told to raid the roach. Raid the roach chambers. Okay. Oh my God. Yeah, he's really trying to set the stage, child. We don't believe it. Just if you keep saying it 50,000 more times, I still don't believe it. Okay. But we will be back. Thank y'all so much for joining. If y'all would like to support the channel, you're welcome to send a super sticker, super chat, Cash App, or buy coffee. And those links are in the description field of the video. Thank you for joining, Dario. I appreciate everyone for joining. 6 minutes after midnight. Oh, okay. So you're behind us. Okay. Because y'all, it is 2:07. Y'all, this is not good. I didn't realize it was that late. But hey, once we get to talking, we just keep going. We keep going. But thank y'all. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell because you never know when we're going to go live. Thank y'all and have a great night. 3:07. Lord, get some sleep. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.
You just flip through truth with the open book. If you felt that heat, like share and stay locked in. Another chapter done, but we far from finished. Truth on the mic, yeah, we handle business. Real talk, no fluff, just facts and fire. From the book to the block, we taking it higher. The open book, every voice matters, every lie shatters. Catch you next page.